that one forward, finds Carter Lowe through the neutral zone. Lowe waits, takes the shot, kicks aside, rebound, scores! Cole Bodwin! Joined by Barrie Colts head coach Dylan Smoskowitz. A big game here tonight against the Ottawa 67's, a team that's surprising many around the OHL with their hot start to the year. How do you prepare for a game like this against a team that's exceeding expectations?
You know, it's funny, like we've kind of watched this Ottawa team and we've actually learned a lot from them. You know, they're very simple, they're very detailed, they're very structured. They don't hurt themselves in terms of discipline, turnover, stuff like that. So it's a game that our guys are looking forward to. You know, it's a Friday night in the nation's capital and, you know, be a full building tonight, so it's going to be a fun one for our guys.
And for you guys getting a win on Saturday back on home ice against the Frontenacs, a goaltending battle between Hrebeck and Minchak. I know you've mentioned in the past you don't want to rely on your goaltenders to get you guys wins, but how important is it that Hrebeck helped you guys get that solid win?
Oh, it's huge, and you never want to rely on them, but at the same time, you know, it's just so nice to know that you have that as a last line of defense. You know, it just allows guys to play a little more freely, a little bit more loose, where it's like, okay, if I make one little mistake here, I don't think it's going to happen in the back of my net. I know I got my goalie behind me, whether it's Rebby or Jazz. You know, these guys have been fantastic for us. Again, we don't want them to have to steal games for us all the time, but to have two reliable guys back there makes our guys play a little bit more freely.
And when you're playing this Ottawa team here today, how important is it to get that pace going early that we've seen already this season, where you guys are getting pucks to the net, you're on the forecheck? How is it important here to get that going here against this Ottawa team?
Well, it's important just for our guys to understand that there's a certain way we want to play, and whether a hot start results in a goal or a lead, like it's really indifferent to us. But if we have a good first 20, even a good first 10, and we can build off that and then just kind of keep it going, it's always harder when you have a slow first 5 or a slow first 10. Then you got to kind of readjust and regroup and kind of pick it up. But when you can have a good solid start and then just kind of keep that rolling for 60 minutes, it's always easier for a team to kind of keep the same path in terms of, or instead of kind of finding a different path and a different way to win. So we're not looking to get out to an early lead, we're just looking to have a good start.
And you're also getting the depth guys contributing offensively. Hands are getting another goal the other night. You must be pretty excited to see guys like that finding the back of the net, contributing here offensively.
It's always nice. It's almost like an added bonus, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not expecting Justin Hanser to go out and score a hat-trick tonight, and I don't think he's expecting that either. But we've been preaching it all year that, good defense will lead to offense, and I've been really happy with Hanser's defensive game, and lo and behold, he's creating offensive chances for himself. So if some of the other guys can even, learn a little bit from Justin Hanser, well, it's like, take care of your stuff, take care of your defensive responsibilities, take care of your own end, and then just let the offensive game come to you instead of trying to hunt for it and trying to push for it. And, maybe you're pushing a little bit too hard, so it's a little bit harder to come by. You just keep things simple and focus on what you can control, and lo and behold, Justin Hanser got 2 goals in 2 games.
Well, well, I mean, let's start with no problems. Okay, so I think we're back on track now. As this is why we bring Josh McKeon. He's making sure that our audio is working. I can send Lars down the road, and I'm waiting for Josh to put those up. Here's the stream. And we are good to go. There's a bit of a delay. Josh gave us the thumbs up. We are ready to go. So thanks to Dylan Smoskowitz, the head coach with for just for their brought to you by Matt Bates skating. Now that we're about 6 minutes away from puck drop, it's going to be in a preview of the pregame show. These two teams, Barrie Colts and the Ottawa 67's, both near the top of the Eastern Conference standings. Ottawa getting a little bit better with the addition of Sam Hugel.
With penetration, obviously, up front, we're moving some bumping offense, and he gives them that. Again, a big body that can battle those corners up front, makes your top six that much better. Already now, you saw a lot of that team just that much better. But, for these two teams, look, they make the standings, they know what's kind of expected. Both these teams looking to make some noise this year. And, games like this, third test, make no mistake, these teams will be up for this one tonight.
And obviously, the Barrie Colts still have that lead win. The Teddy Bear toss game against the Instant Frontenacs. That one was sending back. Jules Moskowitz mentioned that they're kind of rely on the goaltenders to win you games. And I think that may have been an example of where, this Barrie needs to lead to on missing pucks in the net.
Again, and it all starts with staying out of the penalty box, which is an issue for them because we're going to deliver better effort on last Saturday, that 2-1 win. And better of it just starts staying with 14 of the margin, continuing this play. And tonight, look, the scoring, and everything tells the lower scoring about the line. Federer was just staying in the net. Ben Rabbit has been red hot. So it's taking a risk on the course. So what always happens, it turned out to be like a 7-6 hockey game. We're expecting a 2-1 hockey game.
And the last meeting down at the Sadlin Arena, it was a 1-goal difference between the 67's and the Colts. And, for a Dave Cameron coached hockey team, it's defense first. And that was evident down in Barrie when these two teams met. You kind of expect that again here, where 67's are a team that tries to slow things down in the neutral zone and really limit those breakdown passes.
Well, we're just going to expand the structure. So we don't forget Cameron teams, right? The neutral rules for every little bit of practice that they get, and we're going to keep the team kind of at the front of the base, right? And, that's I was winning a lot of hockey games. The good skill at the makes it difficult for defensive teams. Again, this is a team that they know this kind of, we don't give those extra second units, rebounds type things. They clear the kind of the net. Just a solid, smart hockey Ottawa club, and it helps shows in their record.
And this is going to be a big test this weekend here tonight in Ottawa, and then tomorrow in Kingston. That's going to be an afternoon game. It's supposed to be because for the Barrie Colts. Yes, I wanted the energy and the effort here tonight, but man, that's a quick turnaround. Getting ready for 4 o'clock start.
Yeah, it's a big turnaround. What that means is you need all four lines and all three defensive players to contribute. Especially when we got these back-to-back games like this and a little bit of travel in between. And that's why it's important. Depth, comes up big. The better teams usually have a little more depth to rely on their lines. Obviously for Barrie too, with the World Junior roster for
It's on its aspect, and very good time. It's not today. That's what yeah. 67. At the moment, let's take a look at our 70 meters, which is presented by Greatness Fawcett. Jordan Patty's it's starting this year, Barrie Colts coming up against the start of 6-20 Wilton Native sneaking is 19 years and 6 after 9 punches. We're going to do the record 2.0 coming into the series. So, the Rebels game, we ain't John Wilton. I can't remember another skating right over here. We have pockets. For 67, Pennsylvania did it in the second the season 3 guys 32 and 10 record you can do it. Thanks for the state setting up as us. In this 67's team was tonight. Your referees, Mitch Hardy and Derek Weisberg, and on the lines, Antoine Boudreau, the referee, they're all saw one by Cooper Whereas 67 going to take us back in our own zone. McHugh receive passes in their ups. One set ahead. McHugh trying to pick it up here. Ottawa gets it in the corner. McHugh back to the blue line. Morelli at the point takes the shots. And Herebeck makes a mistake. 67. It's really good. Of course, Team Bader double drawn. Of course, expect to get out the much of a similar here. Even Andrew America's matches tonight. Scoreboard goes in on that line with Moot and McCormick. So 67s will win the faceoff. We'll send this one back to the line. We're going to skate back into their own zone. He's in caught. Gordon trying to kick it forward. Schneid has that one blocked by Whitehouse. Puck's going to go back into the Barrie zone. Here's Kayshawn Aitchison. Aitchison will take his time. He's going to slide back behind his own net. Both teams are making changes. Aitchison now moving this one forward on the wing. Let's pass more. That's deflected. Slander will send it into the zone. Tagogan behind his own net. Rimmel back to collect now for Ottawa. He's going to put that one off the boards and down the ice. That's going to sail down and to next it. Letting us throw the hospital rights and that's what I'm talking about. Marty Wilson, but Alexander Cementov coming back into the lineup up from Bloomberg. Well, especially with the World Junior Championships around the corner, it's going to be important to get bodies up in the lineup for the Barrie Colts, depending on how many players are out. Right now, puck is deep in the Barrie zone. The 67's with the max point. There's a shot. It's going to go wide of the net. Casey Appert is. Where's that hit? Puck goes back behind the Barrie net. Myson's going to skate this one forward. Skates into his own teammate. Puck goes back behind the Colts net. Emerton ahead for Gardner. Gardner's going to flip this one out to center ice. Back in his own zone. He'll pass that one across as the 67's regroup in their own zone. Paul Deach back behind his own net. He's going to take his time. This one forward. Down to the near side, picked up by White. He's going to go up the middle, and that's going to be deflected on goal. Getting a stick on it there was Vandenberg. 67's trying to move this one along the boards. Hanser is there. Sends it back into the corner. 67's trying to pick it up. White net will put this back behind that. Strong passing this one across. Desiderio on the far side takes a bump from Vandenberg. And they try to battle it out in the corner. 67's trying to take it free. Now the Colts get it out down the ice. It's going to go down all the way, and that's going to be an icing call against the Barrie Colts. It's not allowed to be saying things in the insurance to make red thing. So, for him, obviously, to look at it in the room, that's let's already separate the Andrews Rams. Give them that guidance with the go-to guy, right? He's ran for beat lineup, and the ice time's not there. And Ottawa, he'll be looked upon more and relied upon more. Yeah, that's now 5 teams in the Ontario Hockey League. Last year, was traded for Coleman Sound to Flint, and then in the offseason from Flint to Brantford. Colts right now have it deep in the Ottawa zone. Cole Bowman's going to send it back to the point. Aitchison takes that shot. Central goes over the net. Puck comes to the near side. Passmore can't get a stick on it as McHugh's going to send it down with his right hand for the 67's. That's sent across. And Brevik got a paddle off. That's what's under the key for that. And getting that chance was Nick. And it's right in the key, but they got standing up the lead. Realized just the last second of the game was all in front. It was right up to about 40. Scrum cannot even put it on. See if I see this. Sam McHugh just adds that extra scoring punch. Colts moving this one ahead. It's going to have to center ice. Hemming. Johnson just went across to Bowman. He's going to enter the zone. Bowman's stripped up. Penalty indicated. 67's will touch it. We're going to get the call here. So the Barrie Colts. We get the first man play of the hockey game. Get Burton, the Energizer, when he's coming across that blue line. He'll hit a speed and draws. It's permanent. So, in this season, it's the first opportunity there. Let's down the leg as in the penalty box is James Tingwell. It's in front of Washington. All right, definitely that way, and I mean, better like to go to get even. I've never seen very originally. Yeah, building that. It's like the shape of the back and everyone just take up it just give love what a great chance early on for the Barrie. That buck's gonna end up behind the Ottawa net. Send it back to the point. It's Everton to Aitchison. Deshaun Aitchison down low to Bowman. Back to Aitchison along the sideboards. Down to Bowman in front. It's on the one-timer. Emerson gets it in the corner. Keeps it in at the blue line. Colts moving along. Here's Hemming. Takes the shot. Stop. Rebound. Aitchison. Blocked by Rummel. 67's are able to hit this one down the length of the ice. So the power play now down to a minute 22. Emerson will drop this one back as the Colts regroup. It's Emil Hemming. He's got some speed through the neutral zone. He's tripped up at center. Play continues. Bucks in the corner. Slander can't get a stick on. He's into Morelli. Colts just behind the Ottawa net. Runs there, trying to take it free. Hemming has it in his skates. Continue to battle. 55 seconds now left in this power play for the Colts. Aitchison back to the line. Picked up by Emerson. Emerson across. Hemming. Timer. Stopped by Federer. Hemming has it in the corner. He's trying to find it. It was in his skates. Salandrum knocks it free. 67's are right there. That's Zach Rubin. Oh, man. In front. Aitchison off the road. Taking a side trying to. Yeah, that's going to connect. So great chances on this power play for the Barrie Colts, but can't bury those chances. Foster, he's just going to send this one down the line to the ice. His power play now down 18 seconds. Ethan Armstrong, he's going to take it around his own net. Both teams are making changes. Strong reaches his blue line, drops it there, picked up by Asadorian. Passes that one forward. There is Carter Lowe on the boards, back to Armstrong. Armstrong to Desiderio, quick pass, he's taken away, and that'll do it for the. He goes deep into the Barrie zone. After it is Kingra. He's taken to the board by Eliason. Here's Sal. Colts will pick it up. Here's Armstrong. Cross-ice speed. Picked up there by Lowe. Lowe sends it behind the Ottawa net. Aslorian after it. Picked up by Desiderio. Back to Armstrong. That's out of his reach. Kingwell's going to get it out. Kingwell in front of his own bench. He'll pass that one across for Deitch. Deitch carrying it in now for Ottawa. Bucks in the corner. Deitch drops it back. 7's trying to pick this one up. Ottawa still with it. The blue line is Deitch. Deitch takes the shot, and Hrenek with the glove save. And ready to chances they should have.
to work and ask the best pro to learn. Release and try to get the burn and consider them. It's probably outstanding, but they're not playing, but flip rate is just a little bit better. He's 3 or 4 big time stops there by the Ottawa netminder.
Well, we talked about how important the goaltending is for this Ottawa team, and better off putting that on full display. As we remain scoreless as the puck sent to the Ottawa blue line. Whitehead with possession. Over to McHugh. Puck's bouncing. Passmore will pick it up here for the Colts. Sending it across. Hanser hits back up from his knees. Trying to get it out. Went off my forehead. They're going to call this for a high stick. Let's keep your short
Actually, this one is right, whatever off the right or no up. Steve will pick it up. You know, for the Jared. So it's been really full game here tonight.
It's been steady. 26 games, 2 goals, 9 assists, 11 points in the guys. But those 2 players nothing.
This guy is
It's 67's. So nice little pair of pocket back. Ottawa 67. Mark McCann had a chance actually to make that just a pair of big games. That conversation again for you. Center's being tossed up the face-off dots. It comes Cody Stewart. Face-off one by the Colts. Emerson's going to send this one down the ice. Rummels knocks that down at center. He's sent into the zone. Picked up here by Emerson. Emerson around his own net. We'll pass this one forward. Gardner couldn't get a stick on it. Puck goes back into the Ottawa zone. 67's with possession. Rummels going to send that forward. Eckford across. 67's entering the zone. Needs to deflect it. Eckford trying to get to it. That's knocked out to center. Beautiful. In his own zone. Into the Eshkoff again. Eckford back to Buick. Buick reaches center ice. That's taken away by Cody Stewart. Stewart, though, can't hold on to it. Puck goes back into the Barrie zone. Aitchison facing pressure. Gets to the line. He'll flip this one down the ice. Corelli knocks this one down at center. Puck goes off Gardner. He's going to flip this one deep. And the Colts are going to complete a line change. Kelly get there from Baltimore. Puck comes back to the point. That's going to escape the zone. It's laid offside here against the Colts. Morelli will send this one across. Ottawa moving it up. Kingwell forward there to move in. Ends up back behind the net. 67's trying to move it around. Far side. 67's can't connect. That was Deach trying to get a stick on it. Now it's the Colts the other way. Aitchison's going to dump this one in. Puck goes to the far corner. 67's get to it first. Here's Kingwell. Comes around his own net. He's going to pass this one forward. Knocked down at center by Hemming. Now Hemming will enter in the attacking zone for Barrie. And on the corner, that's knocked away by Deach. And Kingwell's going to get it out. Kingwell carries it to center. He'll dump it in. Goes off for a change. Right now, shots favoring the Barrie Colts 4-3, but we're still waiting for our first goal of the game. Strong deep in his own zone. 2 hands. The Hanser will escape this one forward to the Colts. Reaches center. That's going to go deep, and it's going to be a decent call now against the Barrie Colts.
This brand people. Human trans, was their knowledge inside of me. Contact so team did a good job of getting on the puck handle right away. Don't give me any kind of time and space.
So the Colts, they're going to get this one out. Carrying this one in is Hanser. He's knocked down. Puck goes behind the Ottawa net. Side of the goal. Bergman from his knees. Backhand. Hemmings there. Can't get a stick on. Hoadley dropping it back to Hemming. Meanwhile, Hemming comes out of the corner. The skate towards the middle. That's knocked off his stick. Vandenberg sends to the near side. Passmore coming off the point. Can't get to it. That goes off Schneid and ends up on the Ottawa bench.
Georgia look effective. We'll see them with pressure with forecheck upon it.
Face off one by the Colts. Landra's going to send this one around. Stockton can find his own net. Sends that one to the corner. Whitehead gets it ahead, and the 67's will get it down the ice. It reaches the Colts blue line. Passmore receives the pass. Up the wing. That's deflected into the Ottawa zone. Stockton will be the first one on it. He's going to send this one around. Far side. 67's pick it up. Whitehead inside his own blue line. Back to Stockton. Pass is deflected, ends up in the Barrie zone. Colts with possession. That's Kayshawn Aitchison. Aitchison will dump this one in. Actually goes off to the queue. He's going to send that one over to Whitehead. Whitehead on the far side. Hits the brakes. Takes the shot. Stop by Revick. And net by McHugh. Sam McHugh has it in the corner for back to Deep. She's riding the blue line. Sends it across. His shot and stop. Split to the corner. Picked up by Foster. He's going to dump this one back to McHugh for the point, but the shot again can't keep it in. 67 scores back as we're at the 10-minute mark of the first period. Deach is going to have it back behind his own net. Both teams right now completing line changes as Deach taking his time. Now he'll skate this one forward for Ottawa. Far side, 67's moving in. There's Quinadon. He loses the handle of it. Colts get it out to center. Asadorian up ahead to low. Soon it dumped in. Comes around the boards, far side, Asadorian after it. Ensues as the 67's get to it. We'll just get it out and down the ice. Picked up by Emerton at his own blue line. Forced back there by the 67's. Putting on pressure there was Eckberg. We'll send it back to the Ottawa zone, and it's going to be an icing. It's a bit of a slow.
Hey, come on easy back there and make you fight some pucks.
Well, let's get this one out to center ice. They're sent right back in their own end. Here's Paul Emerton. Emerton's going to send this one along the boards. Desiderio ships that one deep. Things are going to make a change. It's coming back after it is Ryan White. Behind his own net. He'll move this one up. This is that forward. Deflected by Amadovsky. That was before the red line, and that's going to be a nice call against Ottawa. So this release, let's go and see it.
That's what they are, and they'll I don't know. Because it's got it was 4 bars, nothing they was trying to do. They and independent. So he's down the shine.
She's not going to score the Teddy Bear toss goal Saturday against Kingston. So we know he's got that shot. Pucks it out to center ice. 67 player had his stick snapped, and that's going to be a penalty now against the Barrie Colts, I do believe. Looks as though it's going to be against Goldberg.
Here's now we saw the very large language. It wasn't correct. It was a textbook and it was here for you now. Really kept and you hear this is a talking this one over.
Yeah, this is going to be a penalty against Goldberg, but he talked to the official and then he skated off to the bench. There may not actually be a penalty here.
Just how disgusting.
So face-off won by the Colts. That's going to go deep into their own zone. Tayshaun Aitchison will pick it up here for Barrie. Aitchison skating this one ahead. Hemming has it go off the skate. That's going to roll deep. And trying to get a stick on it. Picked up there by Buick. Takes a high hit from Bodwin. In front of him. Behind the net. Puck comes back to the point. Aitchison keeps it in. Takes their shot. Deflected. Loose. The toe Schneid in front. And that's knocked to the side. Hemming trying to tuck it around. But that's knocked away by the 67's. Still lead over by Schneid as the 67's get it out. He puts to an open wing. One was there for Ottawa. Colts with it. Tayshaun Aitchison from his own blue line. Up the wing to Schneid. Liam Schneid. He passes one forward to Aitchison. Aitchison trying to tuck it, but that got away from him. A delayed penalty. This is going against Ottawa. As Ottawa on their heels, it's going to be so the Barrie Colts are getting their second back.
This great pressure by the position, this top line is a night more than the beginning. For the chances, like I'm looking in front. It's going to happen even that she remains.
This off one by the Colts. Oh, gives it up to Armstrong. Far side, that's Gardner. Schneid side of the net. Macedonian for the face-off dot. Doesn't take a shot. Back to Armstrong. Here's the shot. Now pitch loose. Schneid takes Armstrong versus. He doesn't have his net. Armstrong takes the shot. Now we get the whistle. Looks like we might get a penalty. Just it's just
and behind his back, he's great. What team for Barrie, but Canada. Lots there, but clever roll. Three pressure, one side was in on that stable and to create air. Better on it. I wouldn't keep that one out. Pressure getting hard by Barrie.
Down to minute 40. Face off won by the Colts. Armstrong has it at the point. That goes wide to that side of the goal. Lowe can't get to it. Schneid. He's tied up. Up goes to the corner. Schneid back to Gardner. Point captain by Armstrong. Takes their shot. Stop by Ritter up. It's bouncing as Buick will send it behind his own net. 67's with it. They're going to dump this one down the ice. Love it. The net. Just the 67 make a change, as will the Colts. 1:11 left in the power play here for the Barrie Colts. Tayshaun Aitchison is set up behind his own net. Aitchison moving this one forward, drops it back. Picked up here by Hemming. Across to Podwin. Slander will dump it in. Better off back behind his own net. He will send it back around to Deach. Picked up here by the Colts. Point Emberton. Aitchison. What? Yep. There's no Aitchison.
You know, like, you know, where they're up drove and reach and have that all together. It's a position so quick now. Pain. Teed on. Right there in position to hold that one in.
Well, Tayshaun Aitchison leads the OHL in power play goals with 11. There's Bodwin to the net, stopped by Fedorov. Horton keeping this down low. Bodwin after it in the corner. In front, Aitchison. That went off his skate. Aitchison in the corner, trying to pass it in front. There by Brummel. Aitchison back to Hemming. Hemming in the corner, back in pass. Bodwin stopped first. Bodwin strikes iron, and Fedorov saying, "His close." 15 seconds left in the man advantage. Bodwin on the far side. He's going to send it around. Went off the referee. He's tucked behind the net. Buick. He loses it back, and it's in the air, batted there by Chironi. Now the 67th game possession. Can't get it up. Power play is over. They had it there, but Portland pushes that one under the bar, and it's 1-0.
Just outstanding pressure on the top. But again, very second power play, the period post. Just a ton of pressure. And on the ends, but they end up getting capitalized. As Roman left all alone in front of that, set up. He fires it up and over Fedorov. Started there for Manny and Mary, but what a play by Hemming to shove him out them. He back at the point. Started Goldman all alone in front with just great patience. And what a shot by Goldman.
Oh my goodness. 13 goals on the season now for Paul Goldwyn. And for the Barrie Colts, they're being allowed to stand right in front of Fedorov. That happened a few times on the power play, and now Goldwyn are making it a 1-0 hockey game.
Tough player.
Schwartzman has been hiding all this time. Colts get it to center ice. Stewart sends it ahead, picked up here by Desiderio. He's going to send this one around, ends up behind the Ottawa net. Arnold comes out from the corner. He's going to pass this one up to Vandenberg. Vandenberg on the far side. He's going to go around the Barrie net. Wilson takes him into the boards. From at the point, keeps this one in. Puck's in the air. Desiderio can't get a stick on. Puck's at the point. Chidaroni. We'll take it to the far side from the corner, and as it goes. The blue line is Rummel. Rummel sends this one across. In front, Vandenberg. He'll peel back to the point, takes the shot. That's his own teammate. In the way there was a Schwackigan. Schwackigan tied up there by Bodie Stewart. 67's to the point, but that doesn't connect. So Vandenberg has to come out to center to pick it up. Colts are going to make the line change with 4:38 left to go in the first period. Barrie up 1-0. Cole Goldwyn, the goal scorer. Aitchison behind his own net. He's going to take his time here. Down to move it forward. Up to Peter Emerton. Emerton up the wing. Tipped into the zone there by Goldwyn. Ends up in the top corner here. Buick gets that one off the referee. It's the second time that's happened this period where the referee behind the net is the victim. It was a stick that went flying. So a 67 stick went into the netting. I believe it was Paul Goldwyn who hit that stick. That was Shan Kigwell's stick. And this is going to be, I think, a power play now for Ottawa.
So flying with the stands again, slide, I think Schneider a little bit. In the third zone, Goldman's going to go off and form the last of the bearing. So in that one, bring pressure to shots that would be for if you bury start this one. Rich Mills has to be happy. Now it's been out here in the ultimate 20 minutes.
Well, it's been relentless pressure. Let's get in the attacking zone. Anyways, I gave up on 67's in defense. 2 or 3 times. And anything. Right?
For me. Now we're going to need the help.
COHL at 24.2%. Well, the penalty kill for Barrie keeps improving. It's now 15. That's 75.5%. Puck ends up at center ice. Colts are moving it up short-handed. That's Carter Lowe taking more time off this Ottawa number. Schwackigan takes it back on his new net. So Schwackigan setting up behind his own net. Now he'll move it forward. Schwackigan from his own blue line up to Foster. See this one ahead. Getting a stick on it there. That was Kuta. Back to the blue line to Schwackigan. Takes the shot. That goes wide behind the very net. Oscar trying to get to it, but it's picked up by Aitchison, and he's going to clear it out. Puck comes back to the Ottawa blue line. Schwackigan up to Whitehead. Whitehead passing that one over to Foster. Back to the line, and that's going to be one side. Is it? It's 6
That's a great number. Check it out. And I'm not sitting back.
Power play for Ottawa down to a minute 10 as Rummel gets it to the blue line, sends it in around the boards. Oscar back to the line. Third. On the near point, sends it forward. Rummel. One time, and it's going to go wide of the net. Eckberg keeps this one in on the near side. Flips this one ahead. 67's back to the point.
Parkland. Something up, back in Parkland. Right up here. This goes through.
So to celebrate Morelli's 200th career OHL game, he now has his third goal this season. Tied at 1 with 2:49 left here in the first period. Taken away by Bounce. Bounce skates it in. His shot deflected by Hanser. And Rabbit's just going to cover it up. Shots inside came so far. Taking him a look at kickoff.
Well, Barrie really kind of taking over in the midway through that first period, and that's it's a question that we're now trying to capitalize on that momentum. Which is why as we get a bit on that in here, 242 making this tough. That's good. The six, okay, like, but still, where it matters.
Face off to the right of Herevik. Face off won by Ottawa. White has a point, takes the shot, stopped by Herevik. Who's puck picked up on the field? And they're just going to range for Ottawa. That's good, man. Isn't the door? This is the way to do. There's no future. Perfect. Yeah, trying to take this one free. Taken away there by Ottawa. As Newman's going to flip this one ahead. Kingwell at center. He dumps this one in. Off the end boards. Picked up by Spencer Bouse. He just was taken into the boards. 67's trying to move around. Picked up here by Borgland. He's going to skate it out. Borgland flipping this one ahead. Gets by Morelli. Wide. Anchison. Said that pass too hot to handle. Hemming from his own blue line. He'll skate this one back behind his own net. He's being chased there by Emitovsky. Hemming's tripped up. That's going to be a penalty. He's going to be the guilty party to the goals.
So where it's going to get some speed going up and on the board. So now, what an opportunity for Barrie to like him at the cross the governor to take the shot. You read by Feller and then get him that break back. Big stretch for the upper net liner. So Landry had a shot and said,
Power play brought to you by Frontline Hockey Apparel. You can find them at frontlinehockeyapparel.com. Colts move it back behind the net. Picked up by Bodwin. Going to Aitchison. Back to Aitchison. Down low. Deflected. Bodwin settles it down. Bodwin from the corner. Back to Aitchison. Plays it quickly there to Edmondson. Butler pulling. Hemming. Simon puts that one over the net. Out comes the point. Kept in by Edmondson. He's going to send it around. Behind the net. Bodwin. Bodwin down low for the Colts. Goes to Aitchison. Deshaun Aitchison off the board. It's Deshaun slam. Takes their shot. Stopped by Fedorov. Buick will collect it now for Ottawa as we're in the final minute of this first period. So they're going to beat their Rabbits to play. So Colts don't score here. This power play will carry over into the second period. Hemming from his own blue line. Leaps through the neutral zone. Hemming across. Colts moving around. That's Salandra. Back to Hemming. Now Hemming has that poked away. Is getting it to the line. And nope, not out. Kept in. Now the 67's will get it out. Here's Kuda. Kuda loses the handle of it. Hemming up to Salandra. Salandra drops it back. Forward back Salandra. One-timer. Set it off. Bucks in the corner. Hemming. 12 seconds left in the period. Side of the net. Colts trying to tuck it, but that got away from Salandra on the 67 who sent it out. 5 seconds left in the period. Puck's deep in the Barrie zone. Long two. Hemming has it at center, but not able to make the play. Is this chance there? But they still pick up play. Standing so very interesting spots. It's going to be good one. From that very late, like 20 minutes. The part of the advantage to me, it's not a movie. Again, like, it's surprising seeing it many times compared to I know it's kind of listed. Yeah, it's kind of decent. The scene that you can get what's the chicken minutes ago. No, that's why it's all going to play. That kind of expanding around the season. So it's there is an opportunity there for Solange and Gardner. They go with the this is kick Solange. They kind of fakes the shot. And, Fedorov still wouldn't bite, able to get across that right pad, get across that crease, and make that big time stop. What an entertaining first period. For Barrie, tons of chances. 16 to 7 there, shoot Ottawa, but they're just one. And it's something we haven't seen in a road game recently, where the first period, the Barrie Colts dominate on the shot clock. Usually it's pretty quiet on the shots and maybe some even chances, but it seems as though the Colts may have found a different gear. And Bowman, he's from Canada. He's not far from here. You kind of wonder, is he inspired to play this game? Well, certainly. I mean, for him and Brad Gardner, the only person was old mates there, and what a chance that for him to make 2-1. It was happening a lot. And for Gordon, ton of work. He's willing to got with all family and friends. And, look, I mean, these guys who are Ottawa is in the States, and it's fantastic. But Barrie wants to kind of send the message here. I know that, we see your record, we respect it and stuff, but hey, we're the Barrie Colts, and we're coming in tonight with a show that we have tons of interest to go. Yeah, it's been an entertaining game so far between the Colts and the 67's, and we just want to apologize for the audio quality here tonight. I believe it's the internet connection, which is causing some issues here from a broadcast vantage point. But if we can improve it, we will. But we still have the chat. It is open. So if you want to take part in the conversation, you can put the comment section. We want to say thanks to Tammy, who's been updating us on the quality of the broadcast, the audio. But if you want to join in, obviously the big trade was announced yesterday with the Q. We can talk a bit about that. And in the meantime, Josh McCann had a chance to check with Brad Gardner, former Ottawa 67. So we'll join in on that conversation here.
Joined by Colts forward Brad Gardner. Brad, last weekend was your guys' teddy bear toss game. Jaden Newton gets the goal. Did you predict that, or did you have a different prediction?
Yeah, I think we were all super excited for him. Obviously, all of the boys are tight. We got a tight-knit group, so yeah, obviously super excited for him. It's a big year for him, a younger guy, so yeah, super excited obviously for him to get that one and get the Bears flying.
Now you're back in Ottawa again. You got to come back here again last year, but what's it like being back in the old rink?
Yeah, obviously always walking around, see some familiar faces. Obviously had a great 3 years here, lots of fun memories, so it's definitely weird every time you come back in here on the other side, but it's always exciting, obviously. My Bill.
Last time I checked, he was James finally sounding.
Everyone in the building as well.
Well, I can hear the game feed.
No, you kind of transition from Dave Cameron, one of the most veteran coaches in the league, to Marty Williams. And how nice was it having those two guys, two coaches with tons of experience?
Yeah, obviously learned a lot from them. Obviously my time coming in at 16 in Ottawa.
Like his would be like he'd start to be bad, but then as he keeps walking, he'd like
to
pick up
success.
somehow.
Obviously, my year area, Marty as well. Learned a lot from him. So yeah, fortunate obviously to have the coaches I've had, and just continue learning and continuing to learn from Smozzy now.
Now the 67's this year. The last season they struggled a bit, but this year they're right up with you guys at the top. How cool would it be for you to have a potential playoff matchup down the road with this team?
Yeah, definitely really cool. I mean, obviously, you see the success they're having this year. Obviously, last year's kind of a one-off. Usually, Ottawa's always a pretty good team. So, you always come into this building that you're going to have a good game. So, I think obviously that's something that could be cool down the road. Definitely would be a little odd for me, but would be fun for sure.
Now you've solidified yourself as the second-line center since Cole Baudouin and Emil Hemming came back, and you've kind of had the same line mates as of late, Bodie Stewart and Calvin Crombie, and then with Calvin out of the lineup recently, Joe Solandra. What's it been like playing with those guys?
Yeah, obviously, lots of them are all very skilled, fortunate to be playing with those guys, all great guys on and off the ice. So, yeah, I think, just continuing to build chemistry and, I think as the season goes on, getting better and better every day. And, obviously those 2-3 guys, fortunate to play with. So, it just, like I said, just getting a little bit better every day.
Now it's World Junior season. A couple of Barrie Colts forwards going to be heading off as well. Keyshawn Aitchison potentially. What's your mindset over the next couple of weeks as your role maybe is even higher with the Barrie Colts?
Yeah, obviously I think, whether they're here or not, it's the same. I obviously got to play my best and get better every day. So obviously, it's more opportunity for lots of guys, young guys down the lineup as well. So it should be good to see, what everyone does with that. And nothing really changes. We lose a few guys. We still got to find a way to get the job done. So down the road here, it's just going to be, the same thing in practice, all that stuff starting there. And, just sticking with it before, the Christmas break here.
Brad, thanks for doing this. Best of luck tonight.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Want to go on at 11, and then we'll try Jim here for a test question. We can we'll come back. I'll mention the tech issues, the internet connection that we're working good. The chat's open, and then we'll do that down support check, and then we'll come out of that. See if anything's here. If there's nothing here, talk about Fedorov, his outstanding play, Colts chances, and we can touch on in the future. So 25 seconds. We're back to TV Place in Ottawa, where the 67's and the Colts are tied at 1 apiece. Also, just want to apologize again that our audio quality is being impacted by our internet connection. So hopefully this will get resolved. And notice that the TV that had beside us has also had issues. So maybe it's the internet in the building. But either way, with the chat is open. If you want to take part in the conversation, you can do so. You can talk about the Colts or even the rest of the Cheers Board around the Ontario Pond. But it's all busy right around the right channel. So let's take a good look at our downtown store. Yeah, that's 8:30. Brandon still at without the ice dogs. The train rate is up to you. It's like an London to natural London. It's around the very different. Still, now that you may have lots of training. Instead, these plays are all for nothing. I need all the fiber. No score in Sarnia Sudbury. 2-2 after the 132nd on and 12. The Sioux Greyhounds are up 3-0 on the Ottawa Generals late in the first period. Now, if the Niagara Ice Dogs end up losing that game in Brampton, that's a 10-game losing streak. They're down Sunday, place Brampton. It's got them in Niagara. They've got all that talent. Over Patterson, Sada, and they're down below Brampton team that lost the top 10 in spring. And then, of course, Grayson Tiller was just suspended 5 games for a kicking incident in Kitchener. On the channel, I posted a video of the incident. You don't really see it that well, but still, it's a surprise. Grayson Tiller, he just one of those participant guys who ended up taking the match penalty. So that's what 5 games suspension. Yeah, like you said, I mean, it's a big guy that dirtier side of uniforms. His place. So, like you said, I haven't even seen it. But everyone's seeing it. All you have to do not just suspending a guy by day, kind of find into a senior or something there. It's not it. Yeah, we've got some big as to the angles of the incident, but still, Grayson Tiller certainly that 5 games suspension. Now, back here in Ottawa, this has been kind of a strange game from the 67's because they're one of the top teams right now in the Eastern Conference. They're known for their defensive game, their outstanding goaltending. Well, one has shown up here tonight, and that's better off. Whereas the defense ran up left and hanging at some just out. It's been a ton of great chances. Barrie Colts doing it. That really nice game. He was left alone out front. And that also had to sprawl up to make a couple of big saves. Joseph Andrews, right, or the flow and it puts your also Crosby. It's not like you get to 57. I mean, you're probably defense for 67. It's very good shot. It's like 16 shots on net. I'm sure it's possible to. He loves those periods on the local where multiple shots for 4. I'm sure he's okay with the period with close body. It's 7 dollars. Sometimes I wish we could have Dylan on in the first intermission just to hear his take on first period. Because, like you said, yeah, he doesn't mind those quiet first periods. So when we were down in Erie and Niagara, he was totally fine with the way those games started. But here tonight, a little different. I can't think of a road game where they put up 16 shots in the first period. Perhaps you're right. I mean, not the only chance, but very good to tell. It's going to have to certainly count for people on this night. Now, what the thought is get down the feelings. Yeah, it was really strong trade from the very inside. One of those spots which is going to be absolutely at the end of this game. All the map is bonus. 200 people on sections. Still want to put the new over the next 40 minutes. It's very good here. So it's just under 7 minutes away from the start of the second period here at TV Place. And Tammy, noticing that we do have Gene and company here in the press box. It is different being here back in Ottawa because I understand it's just been the last 2 years they brought the media box back up top. There used to be a card table back in the seats because this arena, I believe it's 60 years old. It's showing its age. Obviously, a new arena around the corner. The media people we talk to, they seem pretty excited that the arena. I think I'm excited to come to that anyway. But I will say it's good for spacious. If you people I end up downing stuff for him, it's actually usually a record like this. It's not too big. Like here, we were able to bring the rods through. Well, you noticed the rods through. They've got big on their record. The Ottawa, they got that whole tower upgrade. But they have Rocky and Waters. They do houses. We got a TV. Yeah, we got a TV. We can see replays. Now, we usually don't get to see replays. Usually they show up on the Jumbotron and then they come out and explain what's happening in minutes of the delay. Yeah, so we talked about it before how the Ottawa 67's it's a Lansdowne, you know. So if you're not too familiar with Ottawa, the arena we're in is the basement of the football stadium. So you can see, if you've ever seen pictures, the roof is got an angle. And those are the seats, Lansdowne Field. So it's kind of a strange field here. And the new arena is going to be at the far end of the end zone. And it's going to be a 500 seat arena. I know the Ottawa Chargers are kind of upset with that design and that setup. For Ottawa, the 67's minimum is definitely, we all know now it's a long time coming for the Seattle team. And they're kind of in that group. We've talked about it a few times. The teams that are making changes to their ranks team in hopes that maybe that 3D turning from nothing right for Bulldogs now last thing if they're then that be into the charts that you mentioned. I mean, the new stadium it's not that capacity for the chart or the fact of level of people they count so that they might have yeah, there's a lot of new arena construction going on in Ottawa Business Center. They're also going to get the red funds, so that's downtown long. Also, not too much. We're getting on the way up now, which is just outside the downtown. But yeah, it's a lot of the flux when it comes to the hockey teams here in the city of Ottawa. They will be charging in central and what's bullshit. I'm sure that it's open before. I mean, based on the menu, the something that's setting the dream player actually, I'm sure they can show that. They even the tracks around and just people with big charge dance in the city, and they love happening. It's a lot to do with it. It's about the city of London. So it was interesting. You spread really down Banks. I don't know if you've seen a couple of windows that actually flags and comments down. So it's really cool just to see how this city has embraced the BWHL. Obviously, the Chargers went to the BWHL championship last year against the Minnesota Frost. So the passion is there here in the city of Ottawa, but uh, they want to have a junior size rink, and that's what they're going to build here at Lansdowne 2.0, just around Uber here from River City. Well, like the charge right now. I mean, there's some weird expansion rules with the WHL this last season, and the expansion teams, like kind of players that are now it's so I think right now there's some Ottawa trying to demand that's what seems like the season so like individuals can float out the chance for expansion now. I'm not even doing this. I'm still doing that future like this that's pretty now. Let's see it's happening in this place more now. The Ottawa Chargers are officially out of the money. And the Ottawa 67's, they used to fill up this place on a regular basis. It's seats about 9,000, 9,100, if I'm not mistaken. But 67's fans, they've been faithful. Actually, Matt Gregg, he's the one with the giant bell. And he's himself who made a game, but passion here for junior hockey is strong. And I think it makes sense for them to have an arena and just to have a spot where it's junior hockey focused. I think that's exactly what you're going to get with Lansdowne Place. And make it come out to the point good. I think it's a lot more for the side where that'd be a great thing for the house. So, there's maybe stairs. Yeah, I think we're in a good spot with Memorial Cup in 2030. Outside of the ways in the grass box, we're playing. Yeah, he was up in Barrie when they won the Crouches in the silence and all that beautiful thing over there. So we are just ready for the second grade of land and Richard was the conversation with Larry. Just it's gonna hear the we're gonna 7 start the second period, 20 seconds left. It's been an entertaining game, and it's sure learn from one of the second. Yeah. Second. 7. 67. So it's taking get ready to go. You see, some smart turn on to the Ottawa 67's, the that's a thing, not even the breakout thing, right? This play back under and look consecutive block here. No very cool. The base Has it in his own zone. He's going to skate this one back. Directing some traffic here. They got 18 seconds left to work with. Aitchison flops it back to Heaven. Heaven reaches center ice. Let's get in over to Beaudouin. Beaudouin from the corner passes it across, but he's got a stick on it. And that's going to go out of play with 6 seconds left here in this power. Face off here to the left. Take her off for the Barrie Colts. Take Ottawa, that's that. Soft one by the Colts, but that's going to escape as well. Evan Passmore stood back into his own zone to pick it up as the power play has come to an end. So the Barrie Colts now 0 for 3 on the power play. Behind the Ottawa net. Relly's going to send that one around. More with a big hit. Puck will come out to center ice. Picked up here by Beaudouin. Beaudouin's pass is deflected. It's going to go deep. Rebick, he'll play it. To the center. Nearly too many men on the ice there for Ottawa. Right up to Beaudouin. Well, Beaudouin takes the shot, and Fedorov makes the bluff save. Just continue to. That's still pretty on the trees. So face off to the right of Fedorov. That's going to go around. For to Salandra. Salandra dropping it there for Gardner. Puck comes ahead. 67's will dump it in. Let's go to the far side. Emerson sends it ahead. Foster trying to get a stick on. Puck goes to the corner. Picked up by Emerson. He's going to send to the line. Puck again tried to kick it, but that got by him. Puck's at center ice. 67's trying to move it forward. Here's Cooper Foster. Up to McHugh. He's going to drop this one back to Whitehead. Puck's bouncing on him. Gardner is trying to get a stick on it. Here's Cody Stewart. Stewart has that one taken away by Ashbach again. The 67's get it out to center ice. Not further. Taken away there by Eliasson. Eliasson sends it off net. That goes over. Gardner on the far side to play it. Takes a hit. This is delivered by Sam McHugh. Battle ensues. Colts can't move around. 67's with it. Ashbach passing that one ahead to Whitehead. Bucks at center ice. Whitehead sends that one in. Bouncing out to center ice. Desiderio trying to collect it. Him and Foster are tied up in the neutral zone. Sparrow still trying to play. Desiderio. He'll lose the handle of it. McHugh trying to dump it in. Fanned on it. Puck will now make its way behind the ferry net. Eliasson sends it around. Chitteroni comes off the bench. Chitteroni on the boards. Pumped off it there by Flo. Puts that one off the end boards. Eliasson will skate this one out for the Colts. Gabriel Eliasson through center. Now he'll send this one in. Around the boards it goes. Asadorian gets a stick on it. Colts right now are completing a line change. Carter Lowe sends that one wide to the net. The point is Armstrong. It goes off that helmet of White. Scoring to collect it. Back to the blue line to Hanser. Justin Hanser takes the shot. It's not along the board. 67th gets the line. That's going to, they're going to say Hanser kept it in. It was a close one, and Scoopin's going to come up with it for Ottawa. Now gets it after feet. That's going to stick on it. With to buy McCormick. Of course, Cincinnati wasn't ran on the Spencer. You look at the shots and that makes the save. That'll really be battle teams and on the other side rotating me. I'm stuck. You're gonna be here now. Well, 67's Teddy Bear's last game last year, Teddy Bear Axel. Yeah, let's bring that up. Right. Face off won by the Colts. Aitchison up to Hemming. Hemming along the board. So go back to Aitchison. Far side pass. Moore takes the shot. Deflected. Fair off the first save. So far, it's so swing. It's so close to having a repeat. Face off one by Ottawa. They're going to quickly get this one out as Denver moves it ahead, but it's taken away by Aitchison. You're right, along the boards, but that's chipped over the glass and out of Ottawa 16. Face off won by Ottawa. Up there to the corner. I think trying to get a stick on it. I think we'll send it back to the point. Changes it. It's knocked down by Morelli. Bowen trying to get to it, but Morelli will knock that to the side. Ottawa trying to get this one out. Backtracking there. That's Hewitt. Sent forward at center ice. Moving up as Eckler. Passing that one across. There's that shot. They got a sugar on it. Firing that was Jack Dever. Dever sending that one ahead. Picked up there by Bodwin. Bodwin's going to dump this one down the ice. Aitchison. What's this happening? Anyway, keep the stick on it in time. Played offside against Barrie. Colts moving up. There's some Simmons rather on the far side. Eckberg sent that one ahead. Was blocked by King and Passmore moves it up. Value pass trying to go to Gardner. Gardner backhand pass to Stewart. Cody Stewart trying to get a lane to the net. Takes it got away from him. Gardner sends that one back. Relly picks it up behind his own net. 67's defenseman will skate this one forward. Reaches center. Dumps it in. Grab it out of his net to play. To Elias. Elias back behind his own goal. He'll take his time. Now goes to Emerton. Cole Emerton on the board. Slandra try to get a stick on it. He will, so no icing. Cody Stewart drops it back to Gardner. Brad Gardner, no play it. Back to the line. Picked up here by Emerton. Takes a shot. That's blocked. And Cooper Foster escaped this one ahead. Foster has it on the wing. Settling to the net. Takes the shots. Quick. Slandra sending that one around. Near side. That pass deflected by Lowe. And that's going to roll on net. And we're at this pressure. Face off one by the 67s. Puck comes back to the point. Whitehead takes the shot. Stop by Hurst. And wide by Foster. Cooper Foster in the corner. Leave it there for Whitehead. He's tied up. Foster with possession. Desiderio got a stick on it. Whitehead in the corner. He's not over there. Hanser, 67's wanting a penalty, but none. It continues. He's trying to move along the boards. Here's Hanser. 67 coming around. Near side is Shawkigan. Hitchcock again. We'll send that one off the boards to the corner. Skirt collecting it now for Ottawa. We'll go around the Barrie net. Has it in the corner. Cooper Foster taken to the boards there by Passmore. Whitemore overskates it. Sidorian picking it up now for the Colts. He's going to skate this one up. Alex Sidorian passing it up to Desiderio. Desiderio cutting to the middle. Leaves it for Aitchison. Aitchison, Desiderio to the net. Passes in fast. Side of the net. They jam that. And the Colts can't get to it, but they stay with it. Sidorian back to the point. That pass won't connect. And right now, Sam McHugh, he's going down the tunnel here for Ottawa. And holding, it looks like his right shoulder. So keep an eye on that for the Ottawa 67's. Puck's going to go wide of the net, far side. Trying to get on it there is Govro. Puck picked up in the corner. Podolsky moving that one up. Picked up there by Chitteroni. Chitteroni will make that Vandenberg. He's going to dump that one in. He's strong behind his own net. Being chased there by Vandenberg. It's knocked away. McCormick will send it around. Aitchison sends that one up. And Vandenberg takes the shot. White at the point. He just put in for Ottawa. White does a lap, goes in an action. Line, Moravec. Stop. 67 seconds. And it explain up the room. Bring it any like this. Okay, this chances of the Wolves are getting late from the net. He wants this. And he can't do it. So it can be a tackle. Face off coming to the left of Ben Verevic. It's got 12:55 still to go in the second period. Face off one by the Colts. And the Q, nice shot. Keep an eye on nice. The Colts get this one down the ice, chasing after a shot. He's going to beat up the icing call. In a battle there with Connor Buick. On boards, the 67's have it. We'll get this one out. Jack Dever reaches center ice. He's going to dump this one in. Back after it is Emmert's inside of the net. Everton nearly mishandled it. Gives it up to Bodwin. Backhand pass to Hemming. Emil Hemming will skate this one up for the Colts. Enters the zone for Barrie. Towards the net. Fedorov guides that to the corner. Picked up by Emerton. Well, Emerton facing pressure here for Barrie Colts. And sends it around. Hemming's going to chase after it in the corner. Emil Hemming takes a bump. Bodwin behind the net. Off the boards, Morelli cuts off Hemming to the puck. Eckberg can't get it past Hamilton. Well, collecting it again here for Ottawa. Sends this one out to center ice. Tayshaun Aitchison chasing after it here for the goals. Aitchison pick it up, leaves it there for Passmore. Hands on it. Cooper Foster is right there, but couldn't capitalize. Stewart gets a stick on it. No icing. Fedorov comes out of his net to play. Send this one around to Whitehead. Whitehead in the corner. Back behind the Ottawa net. 67's moving it forward. Foster tips this one into the carry zone. After it is Tayshaun Aitchison. Aitchison. Vandenberg really got a stick on it. Stewart trying to send that one forward. Picked up by Aitchison. Tayshaun Aitchison. He sends that one in the Ottawa zone, but we're going to get a whistle up in here. It's like maybe for left it. This on 11 left on the ball. Face off here at center right. CSA Sorian will win this face off. Evan Passmore collecting it here for Barrie. Passmore carrying this one in. Backhand pass. That goes into the swap. 67's trying to pick it up. Here is Kingwell. See that one forward. Eshkog again down the ice. Rolls towards the net. That's going to be an icing call here against Ottawa. So take this face off. Yeah, great that one. Second, fair, that's all. You just did this. Right. That's for Ottawa there. Probably looking at it. They're saying, well, hold on until next year. Actually, it's a favorite to you, which so the Colts will send this one deep after this Carter low. Desiderio behind the net. Desiderio blocking it there for Asadorian. Spins over the legs and Fedorov. He's able to cover these. Soft one by the Colts. Practice Landra at the blue line. That's Armstrong. Armstrong's pass is taken away. 67 to escape this one out. It's going to be sent deep after it is Armstrong. Ethan Armstrong. They get past movement, but that's sniped down. On the board. Sends it back to Kingwell. Kingwell keeps that one in. Good effort there by the 67. Truman picks it up in the spot. Box bouncing. Taken away there by Hanser. Justin Hanser taking it back behind his own net to Ethan Armstrong. Strong. Back toward Bodie Stewart. Stewart enters the zone. His pass knocked down. Gets it again. Trying to drop back to Gallagher, but it's taken away by Ottawa. Far side. Collecting it there is Eckberg. Eckberg drops it back to Newman. Newman's pass is blocked, and it's taken away by Gardner. So a long pass. You know, Hemming's behind the defense. He's going to beat up the icing. Hemming behind the Ottawa net. Steelers taken away there by the 67s. That's not good to center ice. Everton sends it back into the zone. Flanked up by Tor Goodwin. He's David Eliason up ahead. Hemming. There's the zone. Really offside there. Ottawa, though, they'll put it out to center. Dumps this one in from Ottawa. His own net is Brevik. He's going to play that one around. Knocked down by Goodwin. Dabbert takes this one away. Flops it back. He's hit the net. Crowley can't get to it. Puck actually went off the referee. Stayed in the corner. Puck's in the slot. Moving it. Blocking that pass attempt was Emerton. Here's Cole Bodwin. No break center ice. Skates it in for Barrie. Bodwin. That's that one go to the behind the net. Morelli's going to come up with it. Craig Morelli puts it off the glass. He gets it out to center ice. Sean Aitchison puts it right back into the Ottawa zone. And to play it here, that's Buick. Buick facing pressure there from Goldwet. Goldwet gets it in the corner. Move this one around. Half board. Goldwet back to the point. Near side, half it's McCormick. That goes wide of the net. Down low is Keyshawn Aitchison. Aitchison along the boards, facing pressure there from Amidovsky. Behind the net's McCormick. Jonah McCormick for the Colts. His pass is picked off. Good work there by Chitteroni. As Brock Chitteroni will skate this one out. There's the zone. Amidovsky can get a stick on it. Go up to Newton. He's going to take this one in. Takes a hit on the far side. Up comes around. Picked up here by Ottawa. Point takes a hard hit. 67's going to skate this one up. Morelli. Knocked away by Goldville. Hanser in the corner. Regroup here for the Barrie Colts. Down to 7:47 remaining in the second period. Still tied at 1. Puck rolls on net, so no icing. So able to make a line change here as Ottawa will regroup, skating it ahead. That's Rummel. Both sends that one over to Whitehead. Backhand pass to Vandenberg. Vandenberg on the far side. His shot wide of the net. Puck comes back to Schnock again, but he can't keep it in. Puck goes back into the Ottawa zone. Schnock again. We'll take it back behind his own goal. Reynolds regroup. 7:17 left. Schnock again. Went to Rummel. We're taking a stick on it. So that's going to be an icing call here against the 67's. They continue to generate chances. Face off one by the Colts. Here's Kayshawn Aitchison down low. Back to Desiderio. Shot on goal. Stop one better on. And he's staying off this game. He needs to see him step off. All right, sure. Kayshawn Aitchison. This one. It's the big short to regain the lead. It's 2-1. Right off the wrong there. Kayshawn Aitchison. Look at him. That's bring him that face off. Set him up. Oh, Aitchison's got a second. We put off the button. He's in there. And for that. Kayshawn Aitchison right off the face-off. Puts it off the post and in. He's now 19 goals on the season for Kayshawn Aitchison. And remember, he's a defenseman. Puck's at center ice. Hemming, he's going to dump this one in for the Colts. Back behind the net. Fedorov trying to slow it down. 67's moving this one ahead. Vandenberg gets it out to center ice, but Hemming, he'll put it right back in the Ottawa. It's a late call coming. Looks as though this is going against the Ottawa 67's for a nice stick. It's going to be a 2-minute double-liner situation. It's going back on the power play. So it's very close power play. Monty by front line. Face off one by the Colts. Back to blue line. That's Emerton. Emerton to Hemming. Hemming down low. Quick pass. Trying to go to Bodwin, but that's deflected line. Aitchison gets to it. He crossed to Bodwin. Over to So you go behind the net. Kayshawn Aitchison collecting it here. Back to Emerton at the point. One time saying, stop like that. Well, he's able to generate chances on the man advantage. They just can't finish it. Right now, Barrie 0 for 3 on the power play, but the Colt Broadline goal in the first period came just as a power play had expired. Broadline will send this one up. Here's Hemming. Drops it back to Aitchison. Kayshawn Aitchison knocks this one down. Keeps in the corner after it is Salandra. Salandra sends it around to Hemming in the near corner. Doesn't get all that pass attempt as it's going to sail out and down the ice. That play down to minute 3. Aitchison dumps this one in for the Colts. Off the end for Steech. Doesn't get to it in time. The 67's are still able to clear. Hamilton back into his own zone to play it. 48 seconds left here in this power play. Colts have it in their own zone. Slander to Asadorian. Here to Schneid. Line back to Gardner. Behind the Ottawa net goes down to Marion. Here's Armstrong at the point. Passing it up to Gardner. Back to Armstrong. His shot stop. Goes to the corner. Here, Armstrong is putting the puck on net. Now Ottawa will skate it up short-handed. First side, that's Kuda. Kuda sending them one ahead, trying to find Ruben. Behind the Colts net. Schneid. For Gardner. 15 seconds now left in this power play. Armstrong dropping it back to Gardner. Gardner backhand pass up to Schneid. Schneid carrying in his shot. Sent pushes the leather there. And he'll hold on for a minute. It's left. It's a face-off win, and Odie Stewart took a shot. It takes 2 seconds. Off play. After that, the ice. And that's going to be deflected out of play, and that comes just power play expires. And it's just a real location Aitchison is able to do. He's already set records for the very considerable range on that. He's just going to reset everything with Barrie Colts. And you can imagine what this call on the t-shirt is. Asking him around your backup. In front of the yeah. I do it. So that's yeah, it's an email game. And we are expecting him to here probably in 10 days. It's saying it's like team theater and it's his Oscar, even an Oscar. Don't be surprised. Keep showing interesting. You're very out there. Yeah, but we get a team that mentioned in the first period as that song, joining the Barrie Colts when they need extra bodies in the lineup. So, of course, Mensah right now playing down in Newmarket. Face off one by the Colts. Passmore will keep this one in, back behind the Ottawa net. 67's will pick it up and they'll put it down the ice. It's going to roll towards the nets. And that's a icing call against Ottawa. And you can see the frustrations right now with the 67's team. It's just they're not playing like we were kind of expected here. But it's just the season. Austin. I lost a Marshall. They played great against Ottawa last week either. They were able to just sneak out victory there as well. So Gabriel's playing some of the top teams hard. Here's the Colts to the net. Bodie Stewart takes the shot, bucks loose, and cut on in there. But that crazy. Time left to go in the second period. 2-1 for the Colts. Corey Gordland and Kayshawn Aitchison, the usual suspects on the goal scorers. Yeah, against Turner sends that to the corner. Almost hands on the dump attempt. Ruben finds it here from Ottawa. He sent that one across. Emerson chasing after him. Gets us one off the boards. Backs in the corner. Ottawa trying to around. But that was a shot knocked away by Edmonton. Comes in front, picked up by Bowden Stewart. He's going to skate it out for the Colts. Stewart gets it across the line. Here's Brad Gardner over to Edmonton. Puts it down in the corner. Going to get a lot on it. Almost going to find it. That's bouncing. Edmonton gets it again for the Colts. Brody Stewart comes back to the blue line. Stewart again finds Gardner, takes the shot. Shot. That's stopped by Fedorov. Ottawa will pick it up. Is by Salandra. Taken away by Gardner. Up to Stewart. Fedorov decides to play it quickly. It was all created by Joe Salandra with that big hit. Cuts back in Barrie's zone. Gabriel Eisen over to Emerton. Up ahead, finds Desiderio. Desiderio carrying it in for the Courage. He's all. Nicholas Desiderio. And the very quick. Lanes for the very close continue to remain open. Timely splitting to things. Both pages to get flat. Desiderio left wide open to be able to drive that air through the middle. Snagging it. Snares policy. Like, Rommel. Very close going. Yes. Wide open. There's a quick shot from Foster right into the glove of Ben Harabic. And goes Desiderio. Was out of the season. I'm kind of surprised. He's the other day they put to take a lot of hits like that. He talked about the pregame round to stick defensively. I didn't know why it's 17. This has to be back. I'm now. Q also left this period due to an injury. It looked like a shoulder. 67's not in the Barrie zone where this shot stop short. He one. It takes the shot. Soft Boston gets to sitting there. Reese. A chance for Thomas Vandenberg. Now they put some of it's not Henning. Henning trying to go on the net. Takes their shots. Drive that ball. 67's come back the other way. It's right ahead. On the way, takes their shot. I think on a piece of it. And that's going to go out. Yeah, Rich last chance. Face off one by the Colts. They're going to send this one out and down the ice. Deach collects it at his own blue line. He falls. That's pretty penalty. Trips up the 67's defenseman. And the Ottawa 67, they're going to get their second power play of the night here. This time around, 67's having a point. They're sending it back to Whitehead. And back to Stock again. Back to Whitehead. Into the shoot on the net by Vandenberg. Up goes in the corner. Whitehead trying to go back to Vandenberg, but that's going to escape the zone. Tuna drops it back to a Stock again. Facing pressure there from low. Puck's at center ice. Vandenberg on the far side. Enters the zone for Ottawa. They'll drop this one back to Whitehead. Whitehead. Stock again at the point. Connor Stock again. Down low to Whitehead. Shot stopped by Horebic. Puck goes into the net. Pass more behind the net. We'll try to play it around. Doesn't go too far. Foster can't get to it. Berglander skated out. Berglander went through the neutral zone short-handed. That puck's knocked away from him. Puck's sitting there, and Vandenberg sends it to the far corner. 1:04 left in the power play here for Ottawa. Back is Stock again. Reaches the blue line. Vandenberg cross, and that's taken away. Good work there by Hemming, and that's going to go back into the Ottawa zone. Stock again, forced back behind his own net. Move this one forward. We're in the final minute of this second period. Ottawa is on the power play. Here's Cooper Foster through the neutral zone. Foster ahead. Gets it again. Sends it around the end boards. Whitehead from the corner. Stopped there by Emerton. Loose puck. Foster in front. Taken away by Newton. And he will send it down the line to the ice. 20 seconds left in the penalty here to Ottawa. Long stretch pass. That's center ice. Picked up by Kingwell. Kingwell trying to carry it in. Knocked to the corner. He's picked up by the 67's. That was Ekberg, but doesn't connect with Morelli. That's going to back out to center ice. Morelli with a shot, and that's going to be awesome. 3 seconds. It's all process up. 3 seconds. 6 seconds left. They take the draw. Scramble draw. Send it back to Aitchison. The power play has come to an end, and the clock will run out. So for the second is the 60th. Which was on that hand. Seeing all of the second Irish, I mean, they had much contact with him. But there, can give me that. So that's how big this is going to get all that. And she's on the phone. They haven't out on there. So I apologize for the audio funny here tonight. The internet connection was not the greatest. I understand there's other broadcasts that having issues with the internet as well. It's outside of that, but it has been entertaining games. Very good. Saying entertaining game. If you're a fan of the rubber, maybe not so bad. But it's 35 to 11 shots of game in America. 30 shots of game. Again, it's such a shot. It's like really take it the other way back. I don't know if you're a lot of we'll have to wait and see. But here at the second intermission, the Barrie Colts up 3-1. And what a game here tonight from the offense. Because in the coach's corner with Darren Moskowitz, we were talking about how you don't want to rely on your potential continuous game every night. You want to have a game where it's your offense that's going to carry the load and defense to bail out the contender. This here tonight, get ready. Try to make a couple of big surgeries. Look at those acrobatic saves of the least. So there's a lot of games recently. Games are very good for really better playing against the only times where there's still a lot of changes for the opposing team and shots have been really by. And that's better around the shots. So things that favorite but in that big waves really good game. For the minutes and I you're I had a chance to catch up with Ottawa 67's commentator, Zappia, and Zappia just won between the benches. And he was talking about the Ottawa 67's play. So we'll jump into that interview. And when we return, we'll take a look at what's going on in the chat. If you have any comments or questions about Colts for NHL, put that there. But this is my conversation with Colin Zappia player this week. Hello, there.
So the Ottawa 67's, one of the teams this year making some headways here. Last year, a team that missed the playoffs, but this year, one of the top teams in the OHL's Eastern Conference standings. And with the Barrie Colts heading to the nation's capital this weekend, we catch up with Colin Zappia, the color commentator on Rogers TV. And Colin, are you surprised at all with the way the Ottawa 67's have gotten off to this great start?
Yeah, I really am. When you look at the roster and the guys that they lost last year, there were going to be some big holes, and nobody was quite sure what this team was going to do. And the chatter around the rink in preseason was that, we're going to be a lot better than people think. I still had my doubts because you're bringing in, 7, 8 first-year players. But as soon as I saw them in that first preseason game, I couldn't believe how fast they were. Like, this is a very, very fast team. They play with a lot of pace, and they give teams a lot of trouble. And they've gotten out of the gate really quickly. So, yeah, I am surprised. But now that I'm able to see these new players up close, I understand why they're having such success at an early part of the season.
And when you look at the score sheet right now, it's not just one player leading the way with the goal scoring. It seems to be scoring by committee, which really is paying off, giving Dave Cameron
I got the
really
interview
4
playing
lines
right
to roll
now.
with.
Yeah,
You're
it really
saying it's
is.
not the internet.
Cooper Foster was the guy that everybody was going to look to put the puck in that, and he's doing that. He's got 16 goals on the year, leading the way there. But then you've got guys like Nick Whitehead that's really coming along. Jasper Kuda, a new addition to the team this year, that's putting the puck in the net. And those guys are really helping. They're getting some key contributions from the defensemen as well. So, yeah, it's nice to see that they're able to put the puck in the net because that was one of the big question marks leading into the season.
And you mentioned Cooper Foster leading the team right now, and talk a bit about his game because he's one that's pretty consistent with the 67's team game after game.
Yeah, he's having a really good season. I don't know if he liked his season last year the way it turned out, but he's a different player this year. He's got a lot of jump. He's a smart player. He's got great hands. He's got a really good shot. And I think, not being signed to an NHL contract after getting drafted might be that burn his shoulder that he needed. So he's looking to continue his hockey career somewhere next year, whether it's the NCAA route or if he gets an American League deal or if an NHL team picks him up. But I think that was kind of what he needed, and he's really flying right now, and he's playing some good hockey.
And another great player on this group is Ekberg. As I know, we haven't really gotten to see him too much here in Barrie because usually he's out of the lineup, but still a key contributor with the offense.
Yeah, he's had some injury troubles. Again, this year, he's only played 18 games, 5 goals. But he had a really good tournament in the summer where he led the way. He was the leading scorer, was the MVP of that tournament, and came into camp with a lot of confidence. And unfortunately, the injury bug hit again. So I think it's taking him some time just to really get going, but he's got tons of skill. He's a guy that's elusive, hard to hit him, has really good vision. Another guy that's got a good shot, not a big guy, but he's got a very good shot for his size. They just need him to get, really rolling. 17 points in 18 games, so he's there. I think they were just expecting maybe a little bit more goal scoring out of him, but that'll come. He's got a ton of confidence. He's a really smart player. And I think, he'll be a key contributor for this team all season long.
And also for the 67's, they're a younger group, and we see that with several rookies in this lineup. But those rookies, they're contributing offensively. I know Chitteroni was selected in the first round, and it's taking him a little bit to get going. But a guy like Vandenberg, really a surprise, being one of those later round draft picks into the Ontario Hockey League.
Yeah, and I think he was a late pick because he had told teams that he was going to go the NCAA route. And the 67's decided to take a flyer on him. And then once that rule changed last year, it didn't take long for him to sign his contract. So A guy that's highly skilled. He's really quick. He's he's got tons of speeds for the neutral zone. Another guy that's got really good vision. He had an injury too that kept him out of the lineup for a bit, but still, he's got I think 16 points in 18 games. So the younger guys are really contributing. They're fitting in well. They're adjusting to the OHL game, which is not easy to come in as a 16, 17-year-old, and they're getting key contributions from those guys, and that's really rallying the team, and it's putting them in the position that they are right now because they are getting contributions from almost everybody.
And you mentioned earlier the defense contributing with the offense as well. And one of those players is a name that I think trips up a lot of broadcasters. Ashkok hopefully I've got it right, but
That's it. That's
he's
it.
one that, yeah, he's one that seems to be fitting in quite nicely with this group there on the blue line.
He had an excellent rookie season. He's got a late birthday, so he was 15 when he started in the Ontario Hockey League last year. And this kid just has so much poise. He doesn't get rattled under pressure. He doesn't just throw the puck away. He's always in a good position defensively as well. He doesn't get beat a lot one-on-one. And he's just continuing his good play from last year. And he's leading the league in defenseman assists right now with 22. And he can really pass the puck. He made some great plays on Sunday. He got 4 assists. Wasn't named a star. He was my first star on the broadcast, but wasn't an in-arena star, which confused me. But this is a kid that just has so much poise. It's too bad he wasn't a little bit bigger, but he's still got time to grow. Just turned 17. So this kid has a good hockey future ahead of him.
Yeah, definitely a bright future for Ashkok. And it really, when you look at the 67's group as well, I've talked to other broadcasters, and when they talk about the 67's, they always bring up the goaltending. You've got Fedorov, who's playing his first year in the OHL. He's been putting up some fantastic numbers. And then you also have Nelson there as well. So what a tandem here that Dave Cameron has.
Yeah, and that was another question mark coming into the season. Jaden Nelson's first year last year, he was highly touted coming out of the CCHL and fit in fairly well last year. I think there's some things about his game that he wanted to change, and he did that over the summer. And then when they got Fedorov, I think what happened with Nelson was like he saw this 17-year-old kid coming to take his spot, and he says, "Well, I better get going too." And the two of them have been working together, and they've been excellent. Both top 5 in the OHL in goals against average, and they've been a great tandem for Dave Cameron. And it's going to be a big problem for Dave to figure out which goaltender he's going to go with down the stretch because both are playing some excellent hockey right now.
And it's funny how that competition just makes things a little better for a team overall. And you see that throughout the lineup with the 67's, and maybe they're a little ahead of the curve, but this is a good sign if you're going to be challenging teams like the Brantford Bulldogs. I know they're kind of taking a bit of a lead right now in the East Division, but Ottawa has shown that they can play with those teams.
Yeah, they've had 2 games against Brantford this year already. They lost, I think, 8-5 early in the season, but they, from all accounts, they had a really good game. This was on the road, and then they lost in a shootout a couple weeks ago. So they've gone toe to toe with the top team in the Ontario Hockey League, and nobody scares the 67's group. And I think sometimes when you get a lot of younger guys or a lot of first year players, and I've said this on the broadcast, sometimes they're too dumb to know when they should lose. And they go out and they just compete hard against everybody. Their game against Oshawa on Friday night wasn't their best game. They ended up winning it 2-1. But then they cleaned things up for Sunday. Not 100%. There's still some things that they have to correct, but in my estimation anyway. But they're not scared of anybody. It doesn't matter if you're big, small, whatever, fast, slow. They can play with everybody. And they've shown it so far this year.
Well, it's going to be a fun contest Friday. As the last time in Barrie, it was a 1-goal difference, and Fedorov put on a great display in net. So can't wait to see this one. And Colin, just want to say thanks for coming on here, and all the best the rest of the way of the season.
Great. Thanks for having me, Mike. Appreciate it.
So that was Colin Zappia, the color commentator of the Ottawa 67's on Rogers TV. So we want to thank Colin for joining us on the channel. And you can actually catch the whole interview on From the Booth with Mike. And we had our conversation earlier in the week. And I think we may have solved our problem. It was an equipment error. And we will have a fully clear broadcast when we come back for the third period. But we're going to take a quick break. But when we return, we will look at the chat. And if you have any comments, you want to talk about something in particular, we can do that there on the channel. So thank you very much for those who've been standing by through the broadcast, despite our audio issues. But we have it solved, I believe, and we will be back in just a moment. So we are about 5 minutes away from the start of the third period of play between the Barrie Colts and the Ottawa 67's. I think I need to issue an apology to the internet here at the arena. It was not an internet problem. It was equipment malfunction, but we've got it settled. We figured it out. We will be clear, and hopefully there's no other hiccups on this road trip.
Oh, look at us and our egos. It can't be our fault. It's
Got to be something else.
It's something. Oh, no.
But anyways, we want to thank everyone who's been tuning in with this broadcast, even with our issues with the broadcast, the audio. But we are up and running, and can't wait to get this third period underway. The Colts right now up 3-1 on the Ottawa 67's. And when we have a moment, let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Well, third period just getting underway in Brampton. It's the Steelheads up 2-0 on the Ice Dogs. Kitchener up 5-1 on Peterborough at the end of the second period. Windsor with a 3-goal second. They're up 3-0 on London. Owen Sound up 3-1 right now on the Erie Otters. Flint has fought back in the second period. They got that game tied at 2 with the Frontenacs going to the third period. Sudbury and Sarnia, they're tied at 1 after 2 periods. Not a lot going on there. Nathan Villeneuve back in the lineup with a power play goal. Guelph up 3-2 on the Saginaw Spirit going into the third period. And then in Sault Ste. Marie, the Greyhounds laying a beatdown 7-2 over the poor Oshawa Generals.
So the out-of-town scores, the Niagara Ice Dogs continue to struggle. As it looks as though if that score holds up, they're going to be on a 10-game losing streak. As I'm sure for Colts fans, they're not going to feel so bad about that. But it's quite remarkable what's going on with the Niagara Ice Dogs. And then if Kingston, they are right now, if I'm not mistaken, on a 7-game losing streak. So two teams that had great starts have really been tumbling down the Eastern Conference standings.
Yeah, Kingston looked like they still had a bit of a core to work with, guys like Jacob Pataglia and Tyler Hopkins, but things just haven't gone their way as of late. They were neck and neck with the Ottawa 67's early in the season, but Ottawa was able to keep beating them, and then eventually Kingston started losing to some other teams. And for Niagara, I mean, they're really struggling. They started the 10-game losing streak from when they were first in the Central Division, and they've fallen all the way down to 8th place. And for the Ice Dogs, I mean, they're not even guaranteed a playoff spot right now. They're 6 points up on the Sudbury Wolves. Niagara does have 3 games in hand, but you got to win those games in hand, because the Ice Dogs, they've had games in hand on the Barrie Colts all this time, but as they keep losing, now those games in hand don't really matter. Yeah, they got 3, but you win all 3 games in hand, you're still down by 4 points.
And also the standings getting a lot tighter, too, at the top of the Central Division. Today, the North Bay Battalion 2 points back of the Barrie Colts. And North Bay, kind of similar situation as the Ottawa 67's. Both those teams they battled right up to the final day. Ottawa nearly catching North Bay, and the Battalion, a bit of a rebuild, and right now making things very interesting in the Eastern Conference.
Well, we talked about it last year after the trade deadline, kind of feeling like the Battalion were comparable to that Barrie Colts team of 2 years ago, where they were gritty after the trade deadline. They didn't have too much superstar talent. They weren't a great team, but they were able to hold their own against a lot of teams. And North Bay, they weren't able to get to 6 games with Brantford like the Colts were able to do earlier the year before against Oshawa. And now kind of going into this year, North Bay kind of more looking like the team maybe we would have seen the Barrie Colts be last year had they not gone all in. They're a solid team with potential for the future, and I'd say next season is more their year. Don't expect them to go all in at the deadline this season, but they'll definitely add a little bit, and they'll try and compete. And one of the best things you can have is a great goalie, and Mike McIver is going to lead the way there. And all 4 of these top teams in the Eastern Conference right now, they've got some really good goaltending, and it's even 5 actually with Easton Rye and Peterborough. So there could be some very interesting goalie battles when we get into the postseason.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating. And for the Ottawa 67's, they made that big trade yesterday, bringing in Sam McHugh from the Brantford Bulldogs. He left in the second period. Now that we've got the audio figured out in this broadcast, he left in the second period, looked like a shoulder injury. He walked off and did not return. And at this point, looking at the Ottawa 67's bench, still not seeing Sam McHugh. So the big addition for the Ottawa 67's out with an injury right now. But we are getting ready to go for the third period of play between the Colts and the 67's. Now that we've got the audio figured out, let's have a solid finish to this broadcast as the Colts get the puck down the ice. And it's going to go into the Ottawa zone. Back to pick it up is Morelli. Up to Kuda, but that's taken away by Hemming. Hemming keeps it down low. Colts trying to put more pressure on as Schneid has it back behind the Ottawa net. He's tied up as the 67's try and dig it free. And it's picked up there by Connor Buick. Buick up to Ekberg. That's deflected. Buick chasing after it on the far side. Buick has possession here for Ottawa, near side to Morelli. Morelli's going to dump this one in. Around the boards it goes. Kayshawn Aitchison on the far side. That goes off the official. Aitchison's going to recover and send it back across to Hemming. Colts regrouping here. They're going to make a line change, as are the 67's. Kayshawn Aitchison has it back behind his own net. Aitchison taking his time here. 1 minute gone already in this third period. 3-1 for the Barrie Colts. Aitchison, long stretch pass, finds Salandra at center ice. Salandra, backhand pass. Gardner can't get to it. Ashkok will get it out. Salandra picks it up at center. He'll flip this one back into the Ottawa zone. Puck's in the corner. After it is Salandra. The 67's will pick it up. It's Ashkok again. Up to Foster. Foster sends that one forward to Vandenberg. Vandenberg, he'll lose it. And sent back out to the neutral zone. Ashkok again. Back in his own zone. He's going to send this one back. That pass doesn't connect. Actually goes to Fedorov. Some miscommunication there from the 67's. Here's White. He's going to skate this one ahead for Ottawa through center. Doesn't connect. Taken away there by Eliasson. Eliasson goes to Hanser up the wing. That's deflected to the Ottawa bench. And we'll get a whistle. And I'm a little surprised right now. I thought we would have seen a little more desperation from Ottawa to start this third period.
Yeah, they've been very slow to start, and I think the shot clock changed because I don't think they have 6 shots in the last 2 minutes. I think they finally updated that.
Yeah, because it was wasn't it 34-11 at the end of the second period?
Yeah, they don't have 6 shots. Right? Did they even have 1 right now?
I don't think there were any shots from Ottawa to start this period.
See, I was right.
Yeah, when you said that at the end of the second period, I'm like, yeah, you're right. There were a lot of shots.
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. Ottawa has the puck deep in their own zone. That's Deitch. He's going to send that one back. White sends it forward. Hubin collects it here for Ottawa. Hubin up to Amidovsky. Amidovsky inside the blue line, facing pressure there from Desiderio. Dorian will come up with it. Drops it back to Carter Lowe. Lowe reaches center ice, flips this into the Ottawa zone. Doesn't go too far. Picked up there by Amidovsky. Hubin takes the shot. That's going to go over the net. Horevic had to be careful as the puck bounced in front of him. That's sent to the side. Desiderio comes up with it for the Colts. That's sent forward. Carter Lowe will dump it in. Back behind the net. 67's there to collect it. Moving it forward. Buick up to Morelli. Morelli, he's going to dump this one in. Kayshawn Aitchison knocks it down. He'll send this one around. After it is Kingwell. Kingwell, he's knocked down by Passmore. Morelli sends that one across. Foster gets it, takes the shots, and Hrebeck at the top of the blue paint will easily corral that one.
Well, we mentioned in the second period, don't know if anyone heard me talk about it, but with the guys away in a couple days for World Junior Camp, it's going to be interesting to see some of the other names coming into the lineup. We mentioned Sementoff and Sam Black, Luke Govro, guys that kind of in and out of the lineup that probably are going to get some good looks over the next couple of weeks. Another interesting guy, Tate Collins. He was just named the OJHL Western Conference Player of the Month after scoring 17 points in 10 games for Toronto, a recent Barrie Colts signing. Could see him get a look here over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and it sounds as though we should find out Monday about Team Canada's preliminary roster for the World Junior. So there's going to be at least Beaudoin and Aitchison likely to send off. Hemming joining Finland. So the Barrie Colts are going to need some bodies in the lineup. Puck's in the Barrie zone, collected there by Schneid. Along the boards, Schneid gets it in the corner for the Colts. He'll send this one around to Aitchison. Kayshawn Aitchison flipping this to the line, knocked down at the line, but it's taken away by Hemming. Hemming, that's blocked by Morelli, trying to force it into the Ottawa zone. That's knocked away. Ekberg collecting it now for the 67's. He'll go back to Morelli. Long stretch pass. Whitehead on the far side dumps this one in. Cole Emerton will be the first one on it here for the Barrie Colts. He'll come around to the net. 4 minutes now gone in this third period. Colts holding on to that 2-goal lead. Bodie Stewart enters the zone, can't hold on to it. Chitteroni comes up with it. He'll pass that one across. Pashkokigan sends that one deep for Ottawa off the end boards. Chitteroni puts that one wide of the net. Puck's in the corner, picked up by Ottawa. Chitteroni knocked down there by Emerton. Those two continue to battle. Chitteroni trying to send it back. Blocked there by Stewart, and the Colts skate it out. It's Brad Gardner at center ice. He's going to flip this one into the zone. Picked up here by Salandra. That's taken away. 67's will get it out. After it here on the wing, that's Chitteroni dropping it back. Rummel keeps it in for Ottawa, takes the shots, and that goes through the blue paint. Kingwell on the far side, takes a bump there from Salandra. Salandra will steal it from him. Joe Salandra skates this one ahead for the Colts. He'll dump this one in. Around the boards it goes. Puck goes to the corner. Bodie Stewart. He's in a battle, taken away there by Chitteroni. Chitteroni skates this one ahead. Through center, Chitteroni still with it. Now the puck's knocked free. Colts take it back the other way. Desiderio will dump it in. Puck goes to the corner, back behind the Ottawa net. Deach ahead for Bows. Bows moved to center. Hubin couldn't collect it. Desiderio takes it back the other way. Ahead for Asadorian. He misses the net. What a chance there for Alex Asadorian. Colts get in the neutral zone. Backtracking is Evan Passmore. He'll go across for Aitchison. Aitchison sends it ahead. Carter Lowe chips that one deep. Asadorian in the corner. Trying to play that one around. Ends up with a point. Passmore shot blocked. That one off Bows. Asadorian back to the line, but Passmore can't hold it, so delayed offside. Puck bounces in front. Fedorov is going behind the net to play it. Ottawa able to pick it up as the Colts are making a line change. Deach behind his own net. He'll send this one forward. Boobin got a stick on it. That's before the red line, but they're going to call this icing against Ottawa. And the linesman Spencer Bows was down low. He clearly beat the icing call.
I don't under. I think the official there already, it was weird. He kind of put his whistle in his mouth and then he hesitated, but then he just called it. Oh, wait, what?
Oh, they're still bringing it down in the Ottawa zone.
Yeah, but I thought they got a change off.
Yeah, they let them
Because Bows is off. Hey,
shouldn't the face-off be at center ice?
Unless it was for something else, which I don't see what.
Now we're getting the buzzer.
Oh, no, we're good.
No? Okay. There's some confusion here at TD Plays. I know we had the audio problems for the first two periods. We don't need to have anything else go wrong. 67's will get it out. Whitehead leaves it there for Vandenberg. Vandenberg, his shot deflected, and that's going to roll on net. Hrebeck thought about playing it, but he's going to hold on. I think the horn was probably for the TV timeout, because now we're going to get a break, but Some confusion there.
I-
Attempt on the ice.
I don't know what to say. I mean, it was clearly not icing, but then it gets called icing kind of like very weirdly. Like you can't put his whistle in his mouth and then he stopped, but then he went for it. But then he kind of immediately signaled like you guys could change. But then the faceoff went down to the other. I don't know.
Well, either way, it's still a 3-1 hockey game in favor of the Barrie Colts, outshooting Ottawa 36-18. As this has been a uncharacteristic game by the Ottawa 67's. As they've just been having some issues keeping the Colts from getting free passes to the net. Of course, Sam McHugh, he was injured in the second period. He has not yet returned for Ottawa. It's just been a weird night. And this is the start of a 3-3 for the 67's. They travel to Peterborough tomorrow night, and then they're home to the Flint Firebirds Sunday afternoon.
It's pretty tough, 3-3.
Next, Peterborough's been playing better. Flint, they had that 11-game point streak. It's a very odd game here tonight in Ottawa. Face-off won by the 67's. It was 1-2 cleanly as it ends up all the way back in their own zone. Morelli's going to come back to collect it here for Ottawa. Up the wing. Ekberg. He'll skate this one in for the 67's, trying to keep it away from Baudouin. Puck goes to the corner. Puck's knocked in front, but Aitchison will send that to the corner. Morelli at the point, passing this one back. Buick with a shot. Puck's bouncing in front. 67's can't find it. Second chance stopped by Hrebeck, and the Colts get it out to center. Morelli comes up with it in the neutral zone. Gave that one right to Baudouin. Cole Baudouin skating it in for the Colts. Baudouin in the corner for Barrie. Takes a hard hit. Schneid's there to collect it. Schneid taken into the boards by Morelli. And Baudouin in a battle down low. Eliasson takes the shot. That's blocked by Morelli. It was Baudouin mixing it up there with Connor Buick. 67's the other way. Shot stopped by Hrebeck. Puck goes to the corner. Eliasson putting pressure there on Jack Dever. Dever's tied up in the corner. 67's trying to move this one around. Eliasson's still there with Dever. Now it's knocked free. Hemming will skate it up. Emil Hemming flips this one into the Ottawa zone. Hitchcock again, first one there, tying up Hemming. Hemming is taken down. Play continues. Morelli with possession for Ottawa. Frank Morelli taking his time here, but that was deflected by Bodie Stewart. Hitchcock again and Hemming are still tied up. They're jawing with each other. Looks like Ashkokagan wants to drop the gloves with Emil Hemming. 67's moving up. Here's Vandenberg on the far side. He'll dump this behind the Barrie net. Foster gave that one right to Brad Gardner. Eliasson behind the net. Up to Emerton. Up the ice, finds Salandra. Joe Salandra inside his own blue line. Now he'll skate this one up. Salandra carrying it in for the Colts. Dumps this one in. Behind the net. Salandra takes it away from Rummel, stays with it, passes it across to Armstrong, takes the shot, stopped by Fedorov. That puck's guided to the corner. Rummel comes up with it for Ottawa. Up ahead to Whitehead. 67's reach center. It's Vandenberg. He'll skate this one in for the 67's. Back to Foster. That pass misses the intended target. Now Salandra will take it back the other way for the Colts. Salandra cuts to the middle, avoids one check. What a spin there by Salandra, but lost the handle of it in the process. Now he takes a shot, and that's deflected wide. Carter Lowe in front, trying to pass it back to the point. Rummel was tying up his stick. Over the net was Asadorian. Puck goes to the corner. Picked up by Desiderio. Desiderio goes behind the Ottawa net. He already has one goal tonight. Desiderio does a lap, puts it back behind the Ottawa net. There's Carter Lowe to come up with it. Back to the blue line is Hanser. Hanser takes the shot. That went off Desiderio. Now he'll send it around the boards. Behind the net, pecked up there by Deitch. He doesn't hold on to it. Vandenberg will now flip this one out to center ice. Armstrong trying to protect the puck. Getting by him is Amidovsky. His shot stopped by Hrebeck. Armstrong picks up the loose puck. He'll skate this one forward. Ethan Armstrong stopped there at center ice by Ekberg. Ekberg skates it in for Ottawa. Trying to weave around Hanser. Ekberg, he's hauled down. Puck goes to the corner. Fans are upset. They thought that should have been a penalty. 67's get another chance. And Hrebeck will cover it up. As Ekberg having some words here with Desiderio. As the Ottawa 67's may have a case there. That could have been a penalty called against the Barrie Colts.
Yeah, it was Desiderio taking down. They're showing on the screen right now. Hemming and Ashkokagan going at it. Both of them go down, then they come out. Hemming's still wrestling with them, and then Ashkogna gives them a chop, and then Ashkogna trying to get him to go in the neck. Burke working his way in on Hanser, and Desiderio takes him down from behind. No call on that one. And Ottawa 67's fans not happy.
Well, they're letting their opinions known here at the TD Place Arena. As the boos raining down here, it's still a 2-goal game for the Colts. 10:27 left to go in the hockey game. As frustration starting to take hold here for Ottawa. Puck's at center ice. Dever loses it. Beaudoin's going to send it deep. Ends up back behind the Ottawa net. Cole Beaudoin. He'll take this to the corner. Beaudoin drops it back. Ends up behind the Ottawa net. Schneid after it. Trying to keep it away from Buick. Schneid drops this one to the corner. Hubin reaching for it. Hemming. To Beaudoin. Beaudoin tied up there by Morelli. He's hauled down. Fans now cheering on that one. Almost it seems as though the referees are just letting them play right now. Battle in the corner. Now we're going to get a whistle as it was a rugby scrum. That puck wasn't moving. And we'll get a face-off. It's been an interesting third period. I feel as though earlier in the hockey game, those would have been penalties.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, obviously for the officials there, you can't call that one. You may not make it out of the arena.
Well, I was just thinking that. If they called that penalty, the place here would have erupted.
Now, I think if you're going to call the one on the other end, you have to call that one. But because you didn't call that one, you can't call this one.
Pretty much.
That, this, that.
Yep. I understand what you're saying. Face off to the left of Fedorov. Newton's going to take the draw here against Kuda. Backhand, stopped by Fedorov as Govro got behind the defense. Puck's at the point. Passmore can't keep it in. Delayed offside. Deitch after it here for Ottawa. Near side to White. White. He's taken to the boards by Newton. Drops to the corner. Chitteroni has to come back after it. Deitch on the far side for the 67's. Govro. It's kind of handcuffed as he picked up that puck outside the blue line. Puck rolls into the Ottawa end. White on the near side. His pass deflected as Passmore runs over his man. Puck goes behind the net. Kayshawn Aitchison's there for the Colts. Aitchison facing pressure there from Jasper Kuda. Govro. He'll send this one down the length of the ice. That's going to roll on net, so no icing. Fedorov decides to play it. The Colts are making a line change. Govro collects it at his own blue line. Luke Govro in front of the bench. He takes a bump, loses it. Puck sent into the Barrie zone. Colts with possession. Eliason up ahead to McCormick. McCormick sends it towards the net. Fedorov guides that to the corner. Back behind his own net. That's Andre Rommel. 67's quickly moving it through center. Here's Cooper Foster. Over to Vandenberg. He overskates it. Asadorian sends it to the line. Chasing after it. Here's Emerton. Emerton sends it forward. Carter Lowe reaching for it. Ashkokigan will steal that one. Puck's kept in at the point by Asadorian. Alex Asadorian trying to reach for it. Ashkokigan can't get to it. Asadorian fans on the first pass attempt. Puck's back behind the Ottawa net. Alex Asadorian from the corner. He's hauled down by Ashkokigan. Play continues. It's the defenseman still on top of Asadorian. Rummel up to Foster. 67's get it out. Taken away, though, by Elias. Now we got Asadorian. He is hunched over. He doesn't look to be in some good shape. Now we're going to get a whistle here. But Alex Asadorian being attended to at the Barrie Colts bench after
his face.
Well, I think when Ashkokigan fell on top of him, it was his face went into the ice.
Towel there, maybe some blood.
Well, like we were saying, the referees, they've stayed out of this third period.
Yeah.
They have not been involved. They've been letting the teams play.
Wonder if that whistle's very purposely offside.
That's a good possibility.
His face-off went back the other way, and there was a Colts player deep in the Ottawa end there. I think it was Lowe.
Well, 7:59 left to go in this hockey game. 3-1 for the Barrie Colts. Your goal scorers tonight, Beaudoin, Aitchison, and Desiderio. And then for Ottawa, it's Frank Morelli, the lone goal scorer for the Barber Poles. Face-off won by the Colts. Puck goes back behind their own net. Salandra, he'll flip this one high. Ends up at the Ottawa blue line. Gardner gets by Buick. Backhand pass deflected. Stopped by Fedorov as Bodie Stewart gets cross-checked in the face. He was going for that loose puck. Right now, the official taking a look.
It's going to be a penalty.
Yep, 2 minutes. So that's going to be a high stick against the Ottawa 67's.
Frustration taking over there for Buick, and just a penalty you can't take with 8 minutes to go. You're taking a penalty after the whistle in a game you're down by 2, and now the Barrie Colts, they'll send the top unit out there with an opportunity to clinch this game away. And yeah, that looks like it got his face. I wondered when they zoomed in there at hometown, maybe they're trying to show that, but no, it got his face.
It was up there. This Barrie Colts Power Play brought to you by Frontline Hockey Apparel. You can find them at frontlinehockeyapparel.com. Quick shot scores! Cole Bodwin! Tic-tac goal, and the Barrie Colts have their first power play goal of the game, and it's now 4-1.
Shot was so good that he broke his stick on the play. Great job by the Barrie Colts on that one, moving the puck around, and all it took was 7 seconds there for Cole Baudouin to find the back of the net. It was Salandra down low who gets a pass from Emil Hemming, who quickly puts it out front for Baudouin, who one-timers at home, and the Barrie Colts extended the lead to 3 and looking in good shape here to pick up another 2 points and make it 14 of 15 with points.
So Cole Baudouin, his second goal of the hockey game. He's from Canada, so not far from where we are here tonight in Ottawa. 14 goals on the season for Cole Baudouin. Colts now 1 for 5 on the power play as the 67's move it ahead. That's stopped in the neutral zone. White's going to take it back into his own zone. Ryan White sends this one deep. It bounces past Parevic into the corner. That's going to be tipped out to center ice. White back after it for Ottawa. 7:14 left. Deitch sends it ahead. Foster on the wing, trying to get by Armstrong. He's taken into the boards. Foster fans on it. Colts send it back. Hemming, he'll take it away here for Barrie. That's stopped in the neutral zone. Hemming skates it back, passes it across to Aitchison. Kayshawn Aitchison on the near side. He'll just dump it in. Back behind his own net is Fedorov. He'll leave it there for Whitehead. He's going to skate this one forward. Now decides to drop back to White. Ryan White, deep in his own zone. Time becoming a factor here for Ottawa. Down by 3, 6.5 minutes now remaining. Both teams are completing a line change. And it's taking his time here is Buick. Buick at center. He'll dump this one in. Into the corner it goes. Ekberg trying to get a stick on it. Colts pick it up. Govro gets this one out and down the ice. Buick back in his own zone to collect it. Up to Morelli. Morelli passing this one ahead. Amidovsky skates this one in. Backhand pass. Reaching for it is Ekberg. That goes to the corner. 67's moving this one around. Amidovsky's on the far side with it for Ottawa. In the corner. Goes behind the Barrie net. Amidovsky still with it. From the half boards. Takes the shot. That goes through the crowd and into the far corner. 67's trying to pass it, but that's going to escape the zone. Morelli from his own blue line. He's going to backtrack into his own zone. Is Ottawa right now completing a line change. He'll give it up to Deitch. Deitch on the far side, sending that one in. Whitehead takes a hard hit from Salandra. Seeing quite a bit of that from Joe Salandra tonight. A couple of big hits. Puck sent to center ice. Knocked down there by Deitch. He's going to send this one forward. Chitteroni can't hold on to it. Following it up there for Ottawa is Dever. Puck rolls to the corner. Gardner. He's tied up. Colts trying to move this one around. Ottawa with possession. They're going to move this one to the point. That's Bows. That shot stopped by Horevic. Chitteroni can't get a stick on it. Puck rolls to the point. Kept in by Bows. Far side. There's the shot. Stopped by Horevic. Salandra with possession. He's going to flip this one down to the ice. Deitch knocks it down at center. Bows takes the hit at the line. Colts with it. Eliasson receives the pass on the far side. Gardner at center ice, flips it ahead. Chasing after it is Stewart. Bodie Stewart gets to it first here for the Colts. Deep in the Ottawa zone. Puts it in front, but no one there for Barrie. That's going to be sent out to the neutral zone. Picked up here by Ethan Armstrong. Back to Hanser. That's deflected. Ends up back in the Ottawa zone. Deitch takes his time to go pick it up. Less than 4.5 minutes now remaining. Low. Chips that into the Ottawa zone. Picked up by White. White over to Vandenberg. Vandenberg can't handle that one. Colts send it back. Here's Alex Asadorian back on the ice. A good sign there for Colts fans. Schkock again gets it in the corner. Takes a bump there from Asadorian. That's going to be a penalty against the Barrie Colts. As they touch it there, as Hanser goes after it, and Asadorian retaliating there. He's going to get the slash. He's going after Schkock again. So remember, earlier in this period, it was a Schkock again on top of Asadorian, which resulted in that minor injury.
Well, Schkockenen's been going at it with a few of the Colts players there, but yeah, Asadorian just giving him a couple shots. That's arguably a cross-checking penalty there, and then they get him on the slash, and bit undisciplined there, and that's something the Barrie Colts have been tonight, is discipline. The last 2 games, they've only allowed 2 goals total, and big part of that is the discipline. It's the one thing they've really had left to get down. I mean, we talked about it early in the year that this team is good 5-on-5. If their penalty kill can figure it out and the discipline can come for this Barrie Colts team, they'd be very dangerous. And the penalty kill started playing well, and they started playing better. Now the disciplines came over the last 2 games, and the Barrie Colts, they've only allowed 2 goals.
So, usually the retaliation is what's going to get you anyway. And for Alex Asadorian, when he saw Schkock again out on the ice, he saw his target and went after him. And 9 times out of 10, the referees, they're going to call it.
I think the retaliation was the cross-check, and they let him get away with it.
Yeah, there was the cross-check, and then the 2 slashes, and then the penalty. So it's a power play here for the Ottawa 67's. They're already 1 for 2 on the man advantage tonight. That's sent out to center ice by the Colts. Loose puck picked up by Ottawa. Foster's going to send it back. Schkock again out there for the 67's. Schkock again skates this one ahead, reaches center ice. Now he's going to send this one back. Whitehead ahead for Foster in the neutral zone. That's out of the reach of Dever. Colts get it to the line, not out. Schkock again, though, can't keep it in. Some issues here tonight for the Ottawa 67's. Their power play now down to a minute 22. They're all the way back in their own zone again on this man advantage. Schkock again, dropping it back to Foster. Cooper Foster through the neutral zone. He'll skate this one in for Ottawa, passing that one across, back to Schkock again. Near side Whitehead. His pass is blocked by Gardner, and he's just going to put this one down the length of the ice. 1 minute remaining in the power play here for Ottawa. Rummel, he'll pick it up here for the 67's. He's going to move this one forward. Rummel passing that one across. Vandenberg skates this one in for Ottawa on the far side. Vandenberg goes around the Barrie net. From the corner, that's blocked. Colts get it out. Loose puck. Hemming's going to chase after it. Emil Hemming, 2-on-1 now, shorthanded for Barrie. Hemming, nice pass. Beaudoin just misses the net. Nearly got the hat trick. Beaudoin has it again in the corner. Power play down to 28 seconds here for Ottawa. Cole Beaudoin, a one-man wrecking crew, taking time off this 67's man advantage. What a night for Cole Beaudoin. Rummel, he'll skate this one ahead for Ottawa. Up to Morelli. Luca Morelli, his pass picked off by Aitchison. Loose puck at center. Hemming overskates it. Morelli will enter the zone here for Ottawa. Morelli with a shot, kicked aside, rebound. Hrebeck, the second save, and he'll bounce on it with 1 second left in the power play. But my, oh my, Cole Beaudoin nearly getting the hat trick, and that would have been a shorthanded goal.
Well, you could kind of see it coming as the Colts cleared that puck, and there wasn't really anyone around. And Hemming was able to get there, set up the 2-on-1, and just missing the net there for Beaudoin. And then Ottawa comes back the other way, kind of a 3-on-2 there. Morelli open for the shot. Hrebeck's able to make the save and then dive out before any of the other 267's could get the rebound there.
Face-off won by the Colts. Hanser's going to send this one around. Newton on the far side. Power play has come to an end for Ottawa. The 67's now 1 for 3 on the power play tonight. There's actually more chances shorthanded for the Colts on that last man advantage. 67's will dump this one in. It's in the corner. Armstrong there to pick it up. Schneid takes a bump there from Chitteroni. Puck's in the corner. Picked up there by the Colts. That's Armstrong. Sends out in the middle. Dangerous pass, but that's shot over the net by Ekberg. Colts pick it up. Skating it ahead. Here is Salandra. He's going to dump it in. Puck bouncing behind the Ottawa net. McCormick skates into the defenseman. Here is Kingwell. He'll enter the zone nearly offside on that far point. Colts get it out. Then it's going to go down the length of the ice. Icing is waved off. Approaching the final minute of this hockey game. The Colts up 4-1 on the Ottawa 67's. Ottawa gets it in the zone. Eliasson puts to the corner. Amidovsky's there for the 67's. Amidovsky's pass picked off by Salandra. Joe Salandra skates this one out. We're in the final minute now of this third period. Salandra gets it into the zone. White comes up with it. Taken away nearly by Salandra. Puck goes back behind the net. Deitch to the near corner. Desiderio reaching for it. Back behind the Ottawa net it goes. 40 seconds left in this hockey game. Amidovsky can't control that pass. Puck rolls into the Barrie zone. Eliasson will pick it up here for Barrie. Gabriel Eliasson up to Govro. Govro sends this on net. Fedorov gets a glove on it and decides to hold on for the face-off with 25.5 seconds remaining as the Barrie Colts about to extend their winning streak to 2 games.
It's been a great effort tonight from the Colts and a game they kind of needed. I mean, these wins as of late, they've been playing pretty good, but they've been tight games, and so I'm sure it'll be nice for Dylan Smoskowitz and his group to walk away with this one that they kind of had control of from the end of the first period on.
Well, shots now 40-25 for the Barrie Colts. Just a dominant effort here on the road as McCormick takes the shots and Fedorov makes the glove save.
For Ottawa, it's surprising to see. We've mentioned it a couple times. I mean, they're by points. They're a better team than the Barrie Colts in the standings. I mean, I think the Colts are just as good as them, and they proved tonight that they're just as good. And Ottawa, though, they're going to have to regroup for tomorrow's game against Peterborough.
Ekberg sends this one ahead. Hubin at center ice skates this one in for the 67's. 10 seconds remaining. That ends up behind the Barrie Colts net. At the point, Ottawa can't keep it in. 3 seconds left. And that will do it. The Barrie Colts stroll into Ottawa, and they win this one by a final score of 4-1. What an effort here tonight from the Barrie Colts.
Well, no doubt about that. And all you got to look at is that shot clock. I mean, 41-25, and I think 4-1. To be honest, it could have been much worse. I mean, the Barrie Colts, they had some really great opportunities that Ryder Fedorov was able to deny them of, and I didn't really see many chances that Ben Rebick had to rob the 67's of. I mean, sure, they had 25 shots, which isn't bad, but they really didn't pressure Ben Rebick at all, and the shots were also kind of spread out. They didn't really have a 2-3 minute segment where they were able to put up a lot of pressure on the Barrie Colts.
Well, the thing that really surprised me, especially in that first period, the Barrie Colts had the man advantage, and both Bodwin, Aitchison, even Hemming at times, they were allowed to stand right in front of Fedorov. No one with the Ottawa defense would touch them. They had lanes to the net, even that shorthanded chance there for the Barrie Colts in the third period. Defensively, it was just not a good night for the Ottawa 67's.
There were so many lanes for the Barrie Colts to get into the offensive zone there and create some great opportunities. I mean, Nicholas Desiderio's goal, he wasn't pressured at all. He was able to just walk right in past Rummel and Ishkogginen, and it was very easy for him to get into the zone. And the minute before that, Bodie Stewart got into the zone a couple times and was able to easily get past the defense. It was a weak effort in the defensive end for Ottawa tonight, and they're going to have to be better than that against these top-tier teams in the future if they want to contend here this season.
Now, for the Barrie Colts, of course, they're now going to make their way to Kingston tomorrow afternoon. It's a 4 o'clock puck drop. Quick turnaround here from tonight's game, but if you're Dylan Smoskowitz, you see the effort here. You didn't really have to, play your top line as much as we've seen in the past. So the depth guys contributing, getting things going, and that's pretty encouraging if you're a Colts fan going into tomorrow's game in Kingston.
Yeah, definitely. I think coming into this weekend, I mean, you're on the road against Ottawa. You know that's going to be a tough game. Obviously, you hope and think you can win, but you knew it was going to be tough tonight. Tomorrow was the game against Kingston that you really had to get because they're a team lower in the standings. They're struggling as of late. Like you mentioned, they're getting close to 7 losses in a row. Oh.
We will have to let Gene know. Thank you for that coffee. That was cool.
Okay, anyway, as I was trying to say, tomorrow is a game that the Barrie Colts they'll definitely want to win. It's time to get greedy. It's time to take both games on the road. And if you're able to get that, you got some more home games coming up. You got next week, you got 2 home games. So you're able to start getting things rolling if you can put in a good effort on home ice next week and tomorrow against Kingston. I saw some concern in the comments about whether or not the game may be played tomorrow because of snow. I can inform you that it's going to be nice out in Kingston tomorrow. There's not going to be any snow in this area, and the Colts aren't driving home to Barrie. They're staying on the road tonight, so they won't have to drive all the way down to Kingston tomorrow. So no doubt about it, that game's going to be a go.
Well, the Colts, they actually came to Ottawa yesterday and drove through that snowstorm that we had yesterday in Barrie. But either way, it's a 4-1 final for the Barrie Colts. Now let's go to the 3 stars of the hockey game, presented by Craighurst Crossing by Georgian Communities, new homes, minutes from North Barrie, where inspired living meets small town charm. Now it's not a real surprise, but it's a clean sweep by the Barrie Colts on the 3-star selection. 3rd star, Ben Horevic, 24 saves. Wasn't too busy here tonight, but 3rd star. 2nd star, Cole Baudouin. A little surprised by that. He had 2 goals tonight. And Nicholas Desiderio, your 1st star of the hockey game. 1 goal plus 2. So great job there for the Barrie Colts. And maybe we'll have to get Desiderio here on the channel. 1st star. I think that's the first time he's been a star this season.
Yeah, definitely the first time he's been the 1st star. I mean, bit surprising. I thought it'd be Baudouin, but yeah, Desiderio played a great game. I like the effort from the 3rd line and the 4th line. I thought they both played well. They had some great opportunities, and that's part of the reason the Barrie Colts were so dominant tonight. Even when the Asadorian line and the Jaden Newton line were out on the ice, it felt like the Colts were in control, and that's why they took this game. The depth showed up again for the Barrie Colts. That's back-to-back games. You look at last week, especially on the scoreboard. Hanser getting that goal for the Barrie Colts that wins them the game. Jaden Newton getting the teddy bear goal tonight. It took till the 3rd goal Desiderio gets it. Outside of that, it was the top guys, but the depth guys, it's just as good when they put in a good effort like they did tonight. If they're creating offense, I think that's good enough for Dylan Smallsquist on a night like this.
So it's a huge win on the road here tonight for the Barrie Colts, 4-1 over the Ottawa 67's. So that'll do it for us here at TD Plays. For Josh McCann, Gene Pereira, Mike Poirier saying so long, and we promise the audio will be better for the whole broadcast in Kingston tomorrow afternoon. So again, thank you for everyone tuning in, everyone involved in the chat, and we will talk to you guys again tomorrow night.